How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Some idea.
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them. I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do, and this influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.
is the end. There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final
You know, you leave the internet for a couple hours and all hell breaks loose. I left the internet. Well, I didn't leave the internet. I went to another part of the internet. I left for like a couple hours to go do a community Zoom call with my supporters, which I do every week. And in those intervening 2 hours, I was denounced by James Lindsay, denounced by, if my browser wants to work, oh, of course, why would it work the way I need it to work? Why would anything work the way I need it to work? Why? That's the question we all ask ourselves all the time. So I was denounced by James Lindsay, and then, if it wants to work for me, which I don't, we're just never getting anywhere tonight, are we? There's a point to this. Oh my God. And then I was denounced by Colin Wright again. And he says, when Carlin agrees with you, that's a red flag. And then Colin Wright says, she'll talk about these posts on her live stream. 100% guaranteed. This is the most exciting thing that's happened to her all week. Well, no, Colin. No, this is not the most exciting. Colin Wright's going to go around saying, Carlin did another stream about me. Yeah, I'm also getting denounced by my own browser. and then, wait. Constantine Kinson, the trifecta again. I did it again. I have achieved a hereunto achieved feat, which is I got denounced again for the second time by James Lindsay, Colin Wright, and Constantine Kinson in the same fucking thread in one day. That's twice that's happened. Who like, has anyone ever been so goated? Me. I win. Yup. It's true. Has anyone ever been so goated besides Nick Fuentes, obviously? Has anyone ever been so goated to get denounced by these three assholes again? And I was like, I was gonna relax for the evening to write. And I was like, you know what? It just doesn't get any better than this. I've been denounced by the worst people of the internet again on the same day. Again. This is a sign from the universe that I need to finish my book and teach people on the internet what these three assholes refuse to teach. And I was feeling good. I was like, I recorded a whole video where I was like, you know what, Konstantin Kisin and James Lindsay and Colin Wright, they can call me insane as much as they want, but do you know what they never do? They never criticize my work. They never criticize my work, do they? And so I was riding high. And then Tim Pool's quitting? I mean, is it my birthday? Is it Christmas? Is the universe opening up? And like, what is even happening? Now, listen, I haven't watched Tim Pool in a long time, but I know that Tim Pool is one of the people that I do have characterized on the list as massively misinforming his audience. And so it's like, I stopped watching Tim Pool unless my audience kind of demanded it. And they're like, Carlin, you have to react to this. And I'd be like, ugh. And then I heard tonight, I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened, but I've heard from many people that Tim is quitting, apparently. Tim was in a really pissed off mood tonight. And so, who am I to, the rules of the internet are that we must watch this video. The rules of the internet are that we must watch this video and that we must comment on it, because them's the rules of the internet. I don't make the rules. So I'm going to take a little time out from writing and working on my book to watch what happens. And because we believe in viewing the full content and not taking things out of context, we need to see what happened. We need to do our due diligence. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, Misa. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case at all. So you can tell he had a narcissistic blow up earlier. Oh, wow. So does it start right at the beginning? Is he fuming right from the beginning? Let me know. Let's just get started. Let me know if there's a place that I should start for people who've already watched it. But let's just see. Yeah, like he's quitting 2 weeks before the election. The last time we watched Timmy Tim was when he was mauling over Fuentes and Jake Shields calling him out. Listen, man, I fucking love this side of the internet. I love it. I love the Grippers. I love Nick Fuentes. I love Jake Shields. I love everyone on this side of the internet except for the assholes that have made my life difficult. I don't like them, but I'm loving everyone right now. I'm loving everyone. This is the best part of the internet to be on. You can say whatever the fuck you want. And it's just like, as long as I don't say whatever the fuck I want on YouTube. We have to keep it YouTube friendly, okay? No one get too excited or nothing. But off of YouTube, I can say whatever the fuck I want. Anyway, let's just dig in and see what happened. I don't know.
$1,135 episodes of this show. Holy smokes. It's been a long time. It's a lot of work from a lot of people, and a lot of good times, a lot of bad times, but a lot of good fun. And this strong possibility that the show is over. Strong possibility.
Why, Tim?
I am joined tonight by the great comedian Dave Lando.
Hello, how are you?
You want to scoot over this way a little bit?
Oh, sure, whatever you want.
Then you look better on camera.
Thank you. Perfect. Is it good?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're here at the old studio. The old studio where it all began. Actually, it didn't begin here. It began in Jersey, but Raymond's hanging out too.
What's up, guys?
And actually, I was planning on not doing a show at all, but Dave's here. He traveled all the way here. I felt kind of bad that all of this begins to happen right when he's showing up, and I kind of was like, oh man, I don't want to screw Dave over.
You're fine. I'm good at ruining shows, so I'm perfect. I'm a great guest for you.
And Raymond was also here too, and I figured for what the conversation is going to be, because this is not going to be a news show, I figured it'd be good if you hung out, because you started as just like a fan of the show.
Yeah. Well, listen. Grant Teton says, I listened for the first 5 minutes and it's pretty useless. He clearly is a failed leader and made some hiring mistakes. Listen, Tim surrounds himself. Okay, no, I'm not going to say that. There are some really, 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 really good people that work for Timcast. There really are. Cassandra McDonald, you can think what you want of her. I she's a little bit of a bitch, but I say that with the best appreciation because I really actually do appreciate her. Cassandra McDonald knows her shit. She is smart. Cassandra McDonald hires good people. Like pretty much all of the good people that I know that work for Timcast were hired by Cassandra McDonald, okay? Tim is a horrible judge of character. Like really horrible judge of character. And I think his priorities are all screwed up. And I think that Tim likes to surround himself with stupid people because it makes him feel smarter. And I'm just saying that maybe Tim should have maybe learned how to be a leader and a little bit more responsible before he started a multimedia empire. But Cassandra McDonald is great. And honestly, if Tim had just learned from Cassandra, he'd probably be in a different position, honestly.
And you super chatted every day, and then you came to work here. And there's a handful of people here who are like that.
Yep.
But
Me too.
yeah, Serge,
Yep.
Serge as well. And but you were sitting here already.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then no disrespect to Hannah Claire, who was here, but I really didn't want to do a show, so I just said it probably would be better if you weren't on the show tonight. And so apologies to Hannah Claire because she does a good job. But yeah, I think this might be the end. This might be the end. Cascade failure. Cascade failure. We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where we hit today.
Come on.
So
come on, Tim. Listen, for those who don't know my background, I'm an organizational psychologist by training. I used to be, I don't do it as much anymore because I'm doing this stuff on the internet now. But like I used to go into organizations that are much larger than what Tim is running and help them actually run the organization efficiently. Don't tell me that an organization of Tim's size and Timcast size cannot be effectively run. Don't tell me that cascade failure is an impossible thing to Yeah, we're talking about the Peter Principle here. Does anyone know what the Peter Principle is? Anyone ever heard of this? Any MBAs in the chat tonight? The Peter Principle says you will get promoted to your own level of incompetence. And that is exactly what's happened with Tim here. That's exactly what's happened. And yeah, I do think he's a control freak. I think he's a micromanager. And I think that he, I think that he should have, really, one of the best decisions Tim ever could have made would probably have been like hiring me, like on the download, not publicly, but like on the download to say, Tim, here's how you fucking structure all of this. I'm going to tell you exactly what CEOs do. Like, but like that would have been like the best thing he ever did. But I don't like Tim that much, and so. And Tim called me an SJW back in 2020 because I criticized his choice to have Bosch on his show, which I feel like I've been vindicated on 19 Ways from Sunday. You know what? We all make mistakes, Timmy. It's all right.
It's like there's a series of, I'd never call out anybody personally or individually.
Should.
No.
All right.
There's also legal ramifications to insulting employees.
Oh, that's true.
But I would just say that like compounding, I don't know, laziness.
Yeah.
That builds up over time, which adds more and more workload to
why are you hiring
me and Allison
lazy people
to get to the point where we're just like can't do it. And it's tough because we've this is not a for a lot of people, they're hearing this right now like, holy crap,
yeah,
why is this happening? I was like, oh, we've been talking about this for months.
Yeah.
And then it's fascinating because like 3 months ago we're going over like finances and I'll break it all down for everybody. We do really well. Our members, you guys seriously do sustain us, and that allows us to have what I would call a safe profit margin every month. That means we're capable, like we're not worried that if we have a bad month, people are going to get fired or anything's going to shut down like that. And that's why I'm always like, we need members so that we can try and make new things and grow and do bookings and make things good and better and all that stuff. And, the problem is, even with all of that, without a proper CEO who isn't hosting the show, it's not possible.
Then hire a fucking CEO.
Yeah, you have to have somebody to go to that's not you.
Yeah.
No.
And so
I've learned that on my...
No. Tim does not need a CEO. Tim needs a COO that is not his girlfriend. I don't know exactly what position Allison has. I don't know that. I only know that she exists, like, in some sort of peripheral thing. But, like, it does seem that she's been running this thing for a long time. Tim needs a professional chief operations officer that is not his girlfriend. He needs to hire an actual, like, professional person that's actually been a COO in, like, real organizations, not in hippie commune, co-op, like, lefty, like, slacker, skater kid organizations. He needs to actually hire someone that's actually been a COO. That's what needed to happen. And then Tim needed to butt his nose out of it and listen to every single thing that COO said. And he needed to pay that COO pretty fucking well. Probably a lot better than Tim pays his normal employees. Like, I'm talking like Tim should have considered that person to be the boss of Tim. And Tim should have shut the fuck up and listened to whatever that guy had to say and let that guy run the business and let that guy deliver the bad news to Tim so no one else on the staff has to. Because I've heard stories, because I know Tim's sister, and I've heard stories about the way Tim treats people, like, behind the scenes. Tim needed a buffer between him and everyone else so that the COO could be the professional person to go and deal with them so that Tim doesn't explode in, like, whatever the fuck Tim does behind the scenes. He could have even outsourced this to, like, a consultant. He really could have. There are plenty of, like, COOs, like, that you've never heard of that worked for organizations that are much more complex than Tim Pool, that are just, like, private people. He should have just, like, found one that was retired and, like, has a lot of wisdom to share because he was in the world a long time. And maybe not someone that was doing internet bullshit, but maybe someone who was actually in, like, a real professionalized operation. And then Tim just needs to pay that person a lot of money and listen to whatever he says and let him run the show. That's what should have happened.
My own show.
And yeah, you need a hierarchy, like any business needs a hierarchy.
And we have that. I mean, we don't have that many people for his company. It's like, I think we have like 30 something employees.
Yeah.
And then like 10 contractors. But it's largely for the external projects that we are trying to do. The issue now is we can get rid of the external projects. And that's a lot of people that are part of the crew and everybody loves. And the challenge thing is, like, when we go through this and we're like, maybe we need to, you know, we want to increase the buffer. We want to increase marketing. How do we sustain this show? How do we build more memberships? Well, the core product is Timcast, the morning show, Timcast IRL, and then the culture where we're trying to make something. And so we got to do marketing. We got to do travel. Well, I can't travel. So if I get invited to go on I can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do
because
any of the shows.
if I'm not doing IRL, I have to be dealing with paperwork on all these other projects. We've been trying to get a coffee shop open for 2 years. I'm done.
Yeah, longer than that.
Over
Now.
Yep, over. And so, you know, the conversations I've had with family is like, I am under no illusions that I have the capability to make this company what it could be.
Then hire
and I
someone.
hear all these things, no, Tim, you're wrong. Oh, come on. We've been trying to get a coffee shop open for 2 years.
Yeah.
Clearly, I cannot do it.
Then
My feelings are not hurt when I'm
someone,
like,
you
no, I can't do
moron.
it. I skateboard every day. I'm trying to do a nose mail nollie impossible out. I can't land it. And I'm like, maybe I'll get it one day, but I'm trying as hard as I can. But I am not going to cry and pretend that I can do something I can't do. So, you know, ultimately what it comes down to is we had our like, I don't know, 12th studio failure this morning.
Tim acts like this is an insurmountable problem that no one in the world has ever had to deal with before. And this is why Tim needed some sort of professional person to say, Tim, this is what happens when small businesses grow. This is literally what happens, Tim, when small businesses grow. At some point, especially if you're an inexperienced CEO and all you want to do is skateboard, you need to hire someone to run the business, and you need to turn the keys over to them, and you need to stay the fuck out of it. And someone should have told Tim that. There's not any small business that has ever grown from being a couple people in Tim's house to being the size of the organization that Tim has that has not gone through these growing pains. It happens every single time. The mark of whether or not the business succeeds is not whether or not they hit these growing pains along the way. It's whether or not they make it to the other fucking side of the growing pains. Tim might not want to do this. He might want to pretend this is an impossible problem to solve, but 1 million people have solved it before him. So why can't he? And he needed someone around to tell him that. Tim could travel if he wanted to. All he needs to do is create redundancies in the organization. Tim could skateboard if he fucking wanted to, but he has to hire other people to do the things that he thinks he needs to do everything for. Tim could give up control and have more of a life and probably feel a whole lot better than probably what he feels. But he's the one that's chosen not to hire someone. He's the one that's chosen not to seek out guidance. Tim could have just gone to the Small Business Administration. The Small Business Administration has like a free advisory program. If Tim didn't want to spend any money, fine. Go to the Small Business Association. They have retired CEOs that will advise you for free on how to grow your fucking business. Listen, man. This isn't rocket science. Why didn't anyone tell him this?
The new one.
Yeah, the new studio failed. And, my attitude with that is kind of just like, yeah, if we can't make cameras and a computer work, and despite all the previous failures we've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that either the studio is operating or secondary studio is operating. We've gotten to a point in the company where everyone's kind of just kicked their feet up and said, I'm doing what I need to be doing. Yeah. And then that just means I'm Sisyphus pushing the rock up. The problem is people are sitting on the rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so that's why I was like, I'm not going to do the show tonight.
Well, what do you want? Like, what do you want out of this? That's an important thing to ask yourself. What is Tim?
Hey guys, can you just take a second and mount the like button for me? There's a shocking disparity between the number of people watching me at 11 p.m. on a Monday and the number of people who've mounted the like button for me. I would really appreciate it. Mounting the like button will recommend this stream to more people. It will help me break the YouTube shadow ban that my channel is perpetually under. If you appreciate any of the analysis that I'm giving, which is really, really smart and which Tim should really listen to if he wasn't such an idiot, please mount the like button for me. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to complain on the internet.
Well, let's do it.
So my here we are.
Look at what you've managed to build.
I know, it's incredible.
So you got to give yourself credit for that. So why get rid of it? I mean, you wanted to complain on the internet. You did it. I mean, you started by going out to protest, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends on where you say it all begins. Like I was making skate videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
and then that turned into, after like 5 skate videos, filming at Occupy Wall Street, which turned into live streaming, which turned into working for Vice, working for Fusion, and then starting my own company, and then transforming that slowly into a podcast. And then, here we are. So when I say complain on the internet, what I really mean is, I was talking to some friends of mine earlier who, pro skaters, and we were talking about why, I'll put it in my words, not theirs. Them. They're very cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
So for 4 years, we've been trying to do a show that is built around, we have this awesome property, we have skate parks, we have Willy Wonka's candy factory or whatever, chocolate factory. Why can't we get people to just do something?
Because if you haven't earned it, you're not as thirsty for it.
Perhaps.
And I've found that in my own career where it's, I've had falling outs too with big shows, which sucks. And everybody knows that. Yeah. So it's like, it's not anything that I didn't make obvious. But at the same time, you do have to be hungry for your own thing, because then I hire friends and then those friends don't do anything for a year. And you're like, that's why this person didn't like it. Like, exactly. Like, oh, I see. This is the problem. Like,
you know what I think too is I've been hearing this a lot from a lot of different people who are working small to large companies. And I'm not going to drag their personal business into the public or anything, but
no. And I've regretted doing that in the past.
I'm hearing a lot about how there's like a talent and management crisis right now. And the example that I've given, because I have no connection to it whatsoever, is Charlestown Races, where they used to have this awesome restaurant that overlooks the horse track, and the horses every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you get to watch the horse.
No, this is a great question. How is it that this video gets so many viewers, but covering actual socialists and actual communists concerning, well, the very death of our country doesn't get this many viewers? Guys, as a reminder, I stream Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. where we cover really important things. I stream on Saturdays at 6 p.m. where we cover even more important things. If you're here for this, that's fine, man. That's fine. I understand that sometimes you need to cover this stuff to get people on the channel. I really, really do. And I don't begrudge anyone that. But come by for a normal stream sometime. Let me show you what the far left is doing. I will show you things no one else on the internet has ever shown you. I will show you the most dystopian stuff in the world. come on by. I'm normally shadow banned on YouTube. It is what it is. But you can know that I stream Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. and on Saturdays at 6 p.m. And I hope I see you again. And that's the last bit of shilling I'll do. I promise.
Just run to order food and hang out.
A little bit more, but...
And they don't have the restaurant anymore. Only on special occasions, rarely. You know, I don't know how often they do it, but almost never. And they told me, I asked them why the restaurant shut down. It's because after COVID hit, everybody who worked there retired or quit. Nobody will do the job. They can't find anybody.
Right.
So, you know, some other big companies have said the same thing. It seems like the top brass are grinding their fingers to the bone because they have a vision that they want to do. There's something that drives them to do something, which brings me to, you know, my friends, these skaters. And I said, why do you guys post videos every day? You have no boss. And they're like, well, I don't know. I want to do it. I'm like, right. You want to do it.
Same as me. Yeah.
And so you do. And then I think the problem we're facing as a country is most people do not. They will because they have to, and they hate that they do.
Weak times, weak men. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
I'm pretty weak. I still do.
I mean, sure,
in fairness,
sure. I drive 2 hours a day to work, so I'm you know, we're all ready to go.
Yeah, I fly from Detroit to my job.
Yeah,
I get it.
But it's like, again, like not calling anybody. I don't want to insult anyone directly, but it's just seeing someone stand around, do nothing. And then so the challenge is, in order to make this show operate, I have to work what is effectively 16 hours a day. So like I haven't had it's fair to say, weekday sunset in 4 years. You know, like just through the window or something. Or now that we're in the new studio, there's no windows at all.
I'm colorblind.
Reap what you sow,
but it's more about like wow, what if I finished work at a normal time like everybody else and just I don't know, hopped in the car and went down to the river and looked at frogs.
Yeah, it's the things you miss out on, really, because I can experience that.
But I'm willing to work my fingers to the bone to make something happen.
Yeah.
But not if we get to the point where it requires more people and we can't get to that point and it just doesn't happen. So then the reassessment is, okay, so the ancillary investment projects clearly are over.
Yeah.
And that's just unfortunate. But the issue then for these other shows and these other projects is they only exist off of the work that I do. Mm-hmm. If I show up in the morning and I do my morning show, I get to give a portion of the work that I do to them so that they can try and make something work.
Well, Tim, that's because your business model is weird and isn't actually that productive. And it's not productive for the people that you hired, and it's not productive for you in the business. You needed to institute a more traditional business model. And again, had you hired a COO, they would have told you exactly the same damn thing. Tim, I'm also going to bet that you hired possibly the wrong people because you hired people based on friendship or based on them being skateboarders or based on like in the case of like Phil being a fucking rock band or like whatever. It's just like, you know, you make really bad decisions. You should have talked to Cassandra. She is a much better judge of people than you are. Like, I mean, and it's like, again, he has the tools to be able to do it, but he's like Trump. Tim is like the fucking YouTuber like that's like as bad at hiring as Donald Trump is. Donald Trump hires the worst possible people in every situation. Tim Pool does the same thing.
And, you know, I know they're trying as hard as they can, and some more successful than others, but it just becomes too burdensome to the point where unless they get off the ground.
And it's not as though there is a lack of talent. I'm sorry. It's not as though there aren't people out there who he could find who would be great at this. It's that he is a horrible judge of character.
Are able to maintain and manage themselves and make money. We can't do it anymore.
Right.
So that isn't necessarily the bearing on this show. The bearing on this show is there's a degree of staff required to run a show like this. And it's you
can't lose power and then lose your show.
What was that?
Like you can't lose power, then lose your show.
What do you mean lose power?
Isn't that what happened at the other place?
No, the graphics card fried.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, we knew the computer was bad. We had repeatedly said we needed to get fixed, and it just never happens.
Okay.
So I'm like, hold on, man. Like, am I going to work 16 hours every single day to the bone and figuratively say I get no weekday sunsets so that someone else can be like, I ain't going to fix it?
Well, if you want to die of a heart attack very young, it's a good way to do
No,
it.
I'd be bored if I wasn't doing something. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I'm willing to do
thanks,
this,
Southpod.
but this requires other people who are willing to do it too. And there are a lot of people here who are willing to do a lot more and go above and beyond. Like Raymond's sitting right here.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I was like, yeah, you should sit in this one. And then there are a lot of people that are like, when can I put the knife in Tim's back?
Don't you find that's any level of fame, though?
Horrible judge
And any
of
level of notoriety at
character.
this
Can't
point?
run a company with those people in your company, though.
Horrible
No, you
judge
can't.
of
And
character.
I mean,
Then
if you know
why'd
who they
hire
are, what do you
them?
do?
Oh,
Then
you
why'd
fire
you
'em.
hire them?
Yeah.
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 And,
it
there,
sucks.
and we've had people come through and try to burn us to the ground afterwards. And it's just like,
Yeah, there's
that's reality.
and such. Am I not allowed to say that? I shouldn't just say
Is
that.
there what?
Would you?
The
Don't
swatting.
repeat it. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was here
yeah.
like when they was being swatted a lot.
Yeah. You were
Yeah.
here for one of the swattings, weren't you?
No, it was like the next day. I just missed it by a hair. But
But
Yeah.
but and a lot of people don't understand too. The swattings were not like cops kicking the door down and storming in and us going like, ugh.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
How do you become a better judge of character? You know, that's a great question. I mean, part of it is just experience. Part of it was that I think that I really do mean this. I think had Tim gone to Cassandra, listen, I don't know the inner workings of Tim and Cassandra's relationship. I have no idea. I don't talk to her about it. She doesn't tell me anything. I don't want it to seem like I'm telling any tales out of school. But what I do know is that Cassandra McDonald is really smart and she's a really good judge of character. And all the people that I've ever seen Cassandra McDonald hire are really, 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 really good. And all of the people that I've seen Tim hire and Tim associated with are, well, quite frankly, not as good as they could be. I'm not saying they're bad people. Okay, Phil kind of sucks. I'm not saying they're bad people. I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but I'm sorry. Like, I think that Tim needed someone to teach him how to be a better judge of who to hire. And again, it's not people that you're friends with. It's not people who are fans of the show and send you super chats. It's not people who you like to skateboard with. I mean, if those things occur as well, then fine. But like, if that's the basis, like you're send us a lot of super chats over the year, bro. That doesn't mean they're qualified to do anything, honestly. And so it's like he needed someone from a more objective place that wasn't his girlfriend to tell him, like, here are the types of people you need to hire, and we're going to figure out a way to find these people. And maybe he goes out to, like, creative agencies where you've got people that are more proven, that have, like, a proven portfolio. Like, again, it's like, it seems like he wanted to create this hippie commune thing. Well, guess what? The types of people who want to show up at a hippie commune are not going to be the most detail-oriented people. So he had to find a different way to get at the types of people that had the type of orientation that he needed to take the initiative to change the fucking graphics card in the computer, because that's a certain psychological profile. What Tim is looking for is a certain psychological profile that is not attracted to working on a hippie commune. So you have to go out and get them specifically. Anyway.
It was like our security company got a phone call.
Except the first time.
The first time.
yeah.
The first one seemed pretty
The first and like the
swatty.
10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
like
first one
Brett was
seemed
out
rough.
there on his hands and knees with his arms up behind his head. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was like the cops opened the door and they were looking at me and they were waving at me. I'm like, what? I'm in the middle of a live show, dude. I'm like,
I mean, as you're closing, as you're thinking about that was 40K congruent viewers that night.
it was, but that wasn't the night everyone watched an empty room for 3 hours.
Yep. Oh, that was the
wasn't-
bomb.
That was
the
Chaircast.
bomb.
You're thinking of Chaircast.
Okay, yeah,
Chaircast. That was when we had
That's
a
right.
credible
That's
bomb
right.
threat that
That's
forced
right.
an evacuation.
Yeah, I'm an
So
OG. I know
between-
Chaircast.
So I'll let you
Yeah.
know some secrets too.
Bomb threats
So,
and
like-
swatting. I mean, I can't imagine why you're
Yeah.
tired.
Well, but it's not just that. I'm not tired. I want to work, but I want
Yeah.
to work effectively.
Sure.
And so there are ways to do big shows. Like I can keep doing my morning show. There's no issue.
Yeah.
I require 0 employees to do that. So I kind of feel like I shouldn't get paid less for, like, so I'll give you some stories. We've had instances of people who work here leaking private information to far leftists who are harassing and stalking us.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We've had instances of people stealing equipment, getting caught on camera. And it's just like, these things are normal. I totally get it.
Whose Fiero is that?
My brothers.
Okay, sweet.
It's cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're talking about stealing stuff, and I just
And you're like, I
noticed
want that
stuff.
Fiero.
I want that Fiero.
Right when I got out, I was like, it's been a while since I've seen
He's
a
got two of
Fiero.
He does.
I like the red one I saw though, and I
Yeah.
remember. Anyway, I don't want to throw you off, but
No, but it's like, this
been a while,
morning.
that's all I'm saying.
So it's we wrap the show Monday through Thursday around 11,
Yeah.
and then I have to go right to bed basically so that I can get enough sleep, and sometimes I don't. So then I wake up around 7:30, so I can eat breakfast, get ready, come in, and then try and figure out how to get the show done. As of recent, because we want to do Culture War, that means if I'm going to balance family and these shows and have the show be effective without dwindling into obscurity, I can't do 4 shows a week. You can't do it right now. Everybody's got content every single day of the week, so that means I need to do at least 5 days and then record extra content for the weekends so that I can have a persistent presence on the platform. Otherwise, YouTube punishes you. But it's also just about, like, are you a company that doesn't work 3 days out of the week? I mean, then people are going to go other places. If a coffee shop's closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then no one's going to go there.
Go watch elsewhere.
However, I can't do all of these things at the same time.
Hey,
I can't wake up at 7, go in, computer's
Thank you for
fried.
becoming a member, bro. I really appreciate
Studio
it.
doesn't work. No backups were created. I have no means of producing the show that makes money to run the business. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to make sure that
If you are a member on Tim's channel, and now you know that Tim is quitting because he doesn't want to hire a professionalized COO to actually run a legitimate organization, please feel free to transfer your membership over here. Because I cover the real radical revolutionary far left. Tim doesn't even know most of the people I cover exist. It's some scary shit, man. I think it's pretty important. If you feel like it, go right ahead.
I run and maintain and build the system. The first Timcast IRL studio that we built, I built by myself. All of it. Now we're at the point where we've got multiple people and we've built this big studio. I don't know what is what. When I built the studio, I knew every output. I knew every input. Now I have no idea. So when the computer breaks, I'm like, I don't know why. Why can't I reboot the computer? I don't know. And so that means I can't turn it on. Where's the backup system? It was never set up. Okay, well, I can't do morning, night, and family stuff at the same time. Impossible. So at this point, it's a cascade of failures and, straws on a camel's back where I'm like, okay, I don't think this is it. And so
It's not your failure, though.
It is his failure.
It is my failure.
Yes, it
Why,
is.
in the hiring
Yes.
practice? How do you see
The
that?
person at the top.
Always. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it lies on you. Don't get me wrong. That's what they see.
I mean, I shouldn't rely on people. If I say the computer's broken, I need backup studio, I should personally go and build a backup studio.
Thank you, Y Guy. I don't see you in the chat. Oh, thank you, Leonard. I don't see you in the chat often, Y Guy, so you must watch the recordings. I found you when Lindsay was freaking out a few months ago. Watched a lot of recorded live streams since then. I've learned a lot. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, James Lindsay hates me, and that should be all the evidence that you need that I'm doing something.
The problem is I can't do everything.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but so there is something I can do. If I set up my own studio for my morning show and I can make sure it works and I can have, youtube.com/TimcastNews, there will never be a failure ever again.
Yeah.
The show will run every single day. I will work a full day of work instead of a double day of work 5 days a week. And I'll make a lot of money doing it without doing a single ad read, all through programmatic YouTube ads. So if we've come to the point where I have to build the machines and run the show and be the CEO, then one of these things is I can't juggle them all.
Sure.
And so it seems like the most reasonable thing to do right now is literally just go back to doing the morning show. No Timcast IRL, single hosted, 0 employees. And then I can produce content.
Wow.
And that'll be it.
What would happen?
And then I have to worry about running Timcast IRL.
Oh, you twice today, I think you mentioned managerial issues.
Yeah. And so one of the reasons I've been talking
Is that
about
right at you?
No, and I'm not a manager.
I don't know.
I wish I was.
I was just
we wouldn't have this
kidding. I'm
problem.
just trying to add some levity here.
I'm not convinced. I mean,
well,
I've been talking about the managerial crisis in this country for like a year, and without getting into personal issues on the show.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, like, how's this all happening at once? It's like, exactly. It's like, no. We've been having like managerial struggles for a long time.
Yeah, because you have a good relationship with these guys, though. So it's like, how do you?
Yeah. Well, most people here, right?
Yeah. Well, of course.
But it's like, look at it this way: if everyone's 90% doing well, that extra 10% from each employee that they're missing, I have to do. And at a certain point, it's not possible.
Well, and the extra 10% is what each person has to do to actually get it to thrive. That's the difference between 90 and 100.
God.
Well, I mean,
I'm not going to keep
the
repeating
challenge
myself,
is,
I swear.
right now, the big challenge is that anybody capable of doing it will do it on their own.
No.
And that's so.
No. You misunderstand the issue. You misunderstand the issue. Imagine if you started a restaurant and then the chef didn't cook and the waiter didn't serve, the host didn't see people. The owner was trying to do everything. You can't do that. That's his issue. That's not his issue. Why did he not hire a chef that would cook? Why did he not hire a waiter that wanted to be a waiter? Why didn't he hire a hostess that actually did their jobs? It's not as though there are not people in the country who want to work. There absolutely are. Now, are there a lot of lazy people? Yup. Yeah, very true. But it is incumbent upon the person running the company to be a better judge of character than what Tim is. This is why Tim would never hire me. Tim would never hire me. Let me tell you why Tim would never hire me. Tim is intimidated by me. He's been intimidated by me for years. He knows I'm smarter than him. He knows I'm not going to take any of his shit. He knows I'm going to tell him what's what, and I'm not going to back down when he tries to yell at me or demean me or do whatever people like Tim do. And it's never going to happen. I'm going to trigger all of Tim's issues in like a single conversation just by bluntly telling him what he is doing wrong. And that is actually part of the problem. I think that Tim needs to hire an old, retired male, emphasis on male, COO that has a lot of organizational experience, that just wants a couple consulting gigs just to kick around in his retirement, and that male experienced COO needs to tell Tim what to do, and Tim needs to listen. That's what Tim actually needs to do. Tim, did you not hear me say that he is hiring the wrong fucking people? Are Tim's audience this stupid? Like, honestly, bro. Honestly. Do Tim's audience really not understand that Tim can make the choice to hire different people? I mean, it really is that fucking simple, bro. They are influencers. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'll take your word for it, Savage Sumo. I do know what the issue is. I do know what the issue is. Do you know how I know what the issue is? Because I was an organizational psychologist for a fucking decade doing consulting with organizations exactly like Tim's, and Tim's organization is not a special and unique fucking snowflake. Every fucking organization like this goes through stuff like this. Tim is quitting because he doesn't want to give up control, and he doesn't want to bring in someone more experienced with more wisdom than he has to tell him what to do. I know exactly what the fucking issue is because I trained to know what this issue is, because I got a PhD in what this fucking issue is, because I was consulting in the real world for 10 fucking years at far more professionalized organizations than Tim's. That's how I know what the issue is. It's not a unique thing. It happens all the time, and it is so easy to tell what's happening for anyone that's been in the professionalized world. Seems like a case of hiring his friends and yes men instead of actual employees, yup, and managers that would potentially call him out on his BS just because he wants to be top dog and has a fragile ego. I think that is exactly 100% right, Rottweiler. 100% right. Southpod, I smell daddy issues. I know I have them. Well, Tim's father at one point started a YouTube channel to talk about how much he hated things Tim was saying. I saw that once when it first started. I was like, yo, this chick has no idea what she's talking about. Okay. All right. Goodbye. Guys, we ban people like that on my stream. This is not like Tim's stream. This is not like Tim's shitposting stream. You insult me, you insult other people in the audience, you're going to get banned. Influence our disinfo agents. Well, that could very well be. Yeah. That could very well be.
Social media has created that potentiality, and that's fine. But if I go to someone who is talented and capable and I say, hey, we need a person who can film skateboarding, for instance, they're going to say, I'll just make my own YouTube channel and go film it myself. I don't need to work for you. And I'm like, fair point. You're right. So then we find someone and we're like, what about you? You seem to be able. And they're like, sure. And then 3 months goes by and we don't do anything.
But what's more your passion? Like, what's your enjoyment now? Do you still like doing it? This is it. Yeah.
And so that's why it's frustrating when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, holy crap, Trump and the fryer.
Yeah.
Look at, I was like, and then there's so much I wanted to talk about. And
yeah, that was a big story.
I can't talk about any of it. Like one of the Krasensteins attacked Trump saying he's attacking Kamala for not being at McDonald's. Can he prove he was at 9/11 clearing out rubble? And I'm like, here's a picture of Donald Trump that was from ABC News of down on a week after 9/11. Like,
yeah,
Trump just said he was down there, helped a little bit.
Well,
Yes.
allegedly Tim Walsh is doing DoorDash, so you got that
Is he,
going.
is, no, is that a joke?
Yes. But I just want to see what they would do.
I
in
just snorted
return.
online. Thank you for that.
But it's believable. That's why
Isn't
I'm
it?
like,
I know.
he's doing it.
Yeah.
There's a Newsweek article where they're like, rumors circulate on the internet that Donald Trump's McDonald's job was staged. And I was like, do they think that Trump applied at McDonald's and then showed up for work?
People are they're trying to.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say they're trying to kill him. So what do they think? He's just gonna walk in there and be like, "Hey,
I know.
serve some regular people."
Yeah, you don't anywhere with guns is bad. Even your own shrubs at your golf course.
Yeah. And then I saw a bunch of people being like, he pre-screened all the people who were getting food. And I'm like, yeah, because they just want to get shot.
Well, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, like
It's
duh.
ridiculous. Well, so anyway, like I'm all yesterday, like I'm seeing this stuff and I'm
thanks,
revved
Wild
up.
Patriot.
And I'm
Welcome.
like, well, I have family stuff to take care of. I can't, like, I'm spending time with my family. You know,
Thank
I can't
you.
just
I appreciate
do
it.
the show 7 days a week. There was one weekend where I was like, I think I'll do
You
shows on the
tried
weekend.
to. You tried to.
And then, you know, my family doesn't get too happy about that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You can't do
You
it.
got to be happy outside of work as well. Then it's just,
Yeah, and I got responsibilities to other people too.
Yeah.
So
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Well, you'll
not
lose
gonna
your
hire
sanity.
Ian.
So I mean, if
Amen.
you
no,
still
I
do what
want to
you
do the show.
love-
you want
I
to
feel
do
like you
7
want
days
to
a
do
week.
it, but you don't want to do it, right?
No, I want to come in the morning and complain.
Yeah.
And I mean complain in a somewhat self-deprecating way. What I mean is
Sure.
there are things that I think people should be aware of. And I also want to express how I feel about the current goings on. And it's a lot of people like watching it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the only reason I say this may be the last episode is that I have a bit of guilt of like the people who really are accustomed to and feel they need and that the world benefits from us doing the show.
Survivor's guilt.
Is that what it is?
I
it
think
is?
that's a form of it.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying 100% by folks who waiting for this. Like I still wait for the 10 a.m. If it's not there, then I'm like, what
Yeah.
the F's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
get
show's
that
an
aspect.
accident too.
I mean,
this
you
show's
need-
a complete accident. The
yeah.
show wasn't supposed to exist.
What
The
happened?
reason why it's called In Real Life is because I do my morning show, and then I was like, I can do my morning show from the road. So I went on Joe Rogan's show, and I told them all, "You're nuts! I'm going to build a van and go live down by the river." And I was only half kidding. I told them I was only half kidding. I built a van with a computer,
Yeah,
and a
it's
studio.
legit.
I think I remember that video you posting. You're like, you had a van in the background.
Yeah,
you
it
were
was
building
it's
I
on
remember
this
that video.
channel.
Yeah.
It's a really nice van, by the way, folks.
What kind?
Not anymore.
I mean,
it was a
it's still-
Ford
yeah, it
like
is.
Eco line?
It's clean.
F-150 or something. Like
Uh-oh.
No, you're right. It's like an eco line.
Eco-line?
yeah,
It's more of a-
and it
It's
had
a candy van.
It's got the big top on it and everything. It's real nice.
It's got solar panels,
yeah,
air condition, external air conditioning, and or like secondary air conditioning.
off-road tires too, because he loves the van
So
or the river. I mean,
Sweet. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you got good tires on it.
that's just because they said we can go premium the tires.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I don't know anything about it. Actually, no.
put
The
giant
first
tires on a
tires
van
were
and shit.
small.
Oh, were they?
And
Okay.
someone told me like they're gonna explode, and I was like, okay, I better upgrade them. But
Hang on, got a super chat. Thank you, Star Wolf. Wait, I want to understand something about this channel. You just banned someone. No, I didn't ban someone for critiquing me. No. I banned someone for being a dick. Isn't that hypocritical? No, it's not. And acting like Tim is creating an echo chamber? No, it's really not. Also, what about freedom of speech? You don't have freedom of speech on my channel. My channel is private property. I have 2 rules for every single stream I do. Number 1, don't be a dick. You will not insult me. You will not insult other people in my audience. If you're belligerent, if I just think you're not smart enough to be here, I'm just going to ban you. Because I really do have an IQ requirement to be on my channel. Like you really need at least 100 level IQ or higher. And if I get some sort of inclination that like you're just not, you're going to cause problems for me and you're going to be disruptive and you're going to whine and complain every single time you don't you hear something that you don't like, I'm just going to ban you because I don't want to deal with that shit. I have to deal with the far left almost every single day of my life. I don't need to deal with you whining assholes on the internet too. So you don't have freedom of speech here. The rule number 2 on my channel is no whining. I don't have kids for a reason. I don't want to hear whining in my chat. All of you are adults. Like everyone that watches my channel is an adult. I expect you to act like an adult. Perhaps if Tim developed more stringent rules for the people he was hiring at his organization, like don't be a dick and no whining. These are not high bars, guys. It's not a high bar. I am 43 fucking years old. I do YouTube for a living. I'm sick of all your shit. I wouldn't have taken this shit in the real world. I'm sure as shit not going to do it on my YouTube channel. If you want freedom of speech, go protest the fucking government. Thank you for the money, though.
the original idea for In Real Life was after I finished the morning show, if I just go drive somewhere,
Thank you.
I can set
I
up
appreciate
and say,
it, Farmsome
morning
Daddy.
show done.
Thank you.
Shout out to everybody. I'm currently hanging out in Austin, and come hang out, and we're going to do Timcast in real life, where I just talk with random people.
Yeah.
I do remember that was one of the first things you talked about, was like having like regular folk. Like, I guess I might be the first regular folk on the job. Like, you just get people plumbers once a week or something like that.
Well, the original plan was to sit down and sort of like change my mind, or what Charlie Kirk does. Be like, who wants to sit down and just have a conversation? And literally be like, hey, today in the news was this. Like, hey, what do you think about what's going on? And I'll show you the stories.
It's better this way. This is a moderated channel, and everyone is happier, and people in my chat are happier. And unlike Tim, I am not held hostage by his audience. Now, I'm not saying everyone in Tim's audience holds him hostage, but there are a lot of assholes in Tim's audience, and those assholes are very vocal in the chat. We don't have that problem here. We have a nice chat where everyone can participate. But I do appreciate when people pay me money to yell at me. Hey, listen, Starwolf, literally the only reason you're not getting banned right now is you're paying me money. If you start complaining in the chat, you're going to get banned immediately. But hey, thank you for the money. Wow, the amount of cope in that response is so pathetic. You just said no whining in the chat, but your whole chat is whining about YouTubers and liberals. You're acting so hypocritical. All right, well, you're welcome to think that because you paid me money. Just keep your thoughts to yourself if you're not paying me money, because the minute that you put a thought like that in my chat and start whining and complaining about your fucking fee-fees when I don't really fucking care, if you want to go watch this episode for yourself, it's available on the internet, bro. You don't have to be here. No one is keeping you here. You can turn your ass around and walk out my front door, and we'll all forget about you in about 3.5 seconds, and we will never think about you again. So if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Thanks for the money. Did I miss a super chat? Oh, so now you're no, I'm not hiring Ian. Not hiring Ian. Thank you, Murphy's Pool. Thank you. Yeah, 29 plus 14 and the nice. I am the nicest woman in the world. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I am the nicest woman in the world. Obviously. It
was just because I like talking to people, but because of COVID, we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
I thought it was because of COVID was mainly the reason why you're doing that. Yeah.
Couldn't travel anymore. And I used to fly on two flights every week when I worked for these other companies. So like
during COVID I just kept traveling, but it was very hard. Like, you weren't supposed to, but it's like, if you're short, you can just walk past people in the military and just keep moving.
They don't notice. They're looking up.
Yeah, I'll be like, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. They're like, yeah, he'll come back. He'll be afraid. And then I would just walk out the door. It's pretty good. I did an entire year in New York. Sorry if that's still a crime, I guess. But
yeah, we were in Jersey, and then
virus.
The show got very big.
Bad.
Yes, it did.
It got big, and then I was like, okay, well, I mean, maybe we'll do something like this. Like, don't stop now. I mean, we're on a roll.
Yeah,
there is some reality that I think I've talked about before, though. But I used to get on YouTube.com/Timcast, the 4 p.m. video, a single half-an-hour video, would get anywhere from 300 to 500,000 views.
Right.
Your 4 p.m. is my favorite back in the day.
Yeah, and
I don't mind if you hate on Tim.
I never really did any legit
you
ad
can
reads.
Him.
So like, I'm talking like Daily Wire style ad reads.
I'll tell you, me neither, but that's just because not a great reader.
Well, if I did sell them, 500,000 could be like 10 to 15 grand.
Yeah.
For one read on one video. Imagine if I was getting that every single day. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
And so then I had YouTube.com/Timcast News. And between the two of them, it was like 3 to 4 million per day. And I think it was upwards of like 60, 70 million a month.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, and I will stress now, like, a lot of these other channels are getting like 100 to 150 million, but those are including shorts, which is a lot easier to produce. So, but
you have a clips channel though.
For IRL?
Yeah.
The clips are on IRL.
Yeah. It's the same channel.
Yeah, same channel.
It is the same channel.
Yeah, same channel post later, yeah.
Yeah, and there's pros and cons to that. It's tough. It's hard. It's like, if the people are going to watch the show every night anyway, then they don't need a notification.
Yeah, ours is both, where you follow that algorithm, but then it doesn't know if you want to be a long show or a short show, and you can't figure out any of it.
Exactly.
But then doesn't it change to how when people are searching for the show, you get a clip, and they want the 20-minute version.
The 20-minute
version of you say you do clips, or maybe not IRL, but your morning shows or anything.
The morning shows have always been segments that I would just upload throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say is, when we started IRL, it cannibalized the morning show. So the morning show peaked at the 34th biggest podcast in the world.
See, still
And
just whining, but thanks for the money, bro.
When IRL launched,
keep paying.
half
you
the
can whine all
viewers
night.
stopped watching that and started going to the audio Timcast IRL show.
Everyone
and I said,
shame
no, I
him.
don't know.
Can
But
everyone
people probably like
shame
the
him in the chat,
conversation
please?
nature of it more than the monologuing
Not
show.
pausing the video
but
for $2.
Same, So then now the Tim Pool morning show, Tim Pool Daily News show or whatever
Why is
is
video like this?
not in the top 200. Sometimes it jumps up to like 190, but then it falls off again. And Timcast IRL, I think, was recently like number 160 in the world. But that's audio side. YouTube side, we do get it is a big show and we get a lot of views.
I'm 20,006.
Is that what your number is?
No.
Oh.
I'm guessing it's lower.
Yeah. But so anyway, it's like it comes to a point where it's like now I'm working 16 hours a day for a diminishing return.
Right.
Dr. Jack Jekyll, have you been watching I haven't seen you in a minute. And the reason I remember you is someone recently posted a screenshot of some old chat that you sent in, and they used your chat to accuse me of being a cannibal. So I was like, I don't even know who this person is. And apparently you chatted in during one of the streams I did, and you said something about cannibals, and then some psycho on the internet found that chat and saved a screenshot from it for years later when they used your chat to accuse me of being a cannibal. So welcome back, bro. Welcome back. Good to see you. One in the chat if you agree with Starwolf, 2 in the chat if you agree with me. 1 in the chat if you agree with Starwolf, 2 in the chat if you agree with me. That poetry painter psycho, of course.
Whereas before I could have been getting 60, 70 million just doing a morning show, being done with work by 4 p.m., being able to do family stuff, plan investments, maybe work on skateboard videos.
If I wasn't doing it.
And so IRL is basically a diminishing return where now there's just 15 Tim Pool videos going up every single day and only so many Tim Pool fans. Mm-hmm. So it's like if I consolidated it down, would we get 40% of the IRL viewership to just watch the morning show again? And is IRL just cannibalizing? Would we lose? How much would we lose? I don't know. But the issue is the Tim Pool morning show requires 0 employees, 0 management. It requires nothing. I'm not going to deal with lawsuits. Yep. I'm not going to deal with security issues. Literally just wake up, handle all by myself, and run a successful show. I wouldn't have to rely on members to sustain the staff required to do a show like this or anything,
Have you been sued a lot?
Yes.
I would assume, yeah. Not as a negative, I just assume.
And I'll tell you, what the problem I have with it is I think, without, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I just don't think anybody cares. When I say that I had to write a check for 30 grand because someone here fucked up, and then it's just like, keep calm and carry on, not my fault. And I'm like, yo, I'm paying myself less than my morning show makes. If I just did my morning show, I'm putting more money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The company has a profit. That profit stays in the company. At the end of the year, the profit stays there so that we can make sure that there's a buffer. So the company makes money. At the end of the year, there's some profit. It will go to me automatically. And then I try to make sure there's money aside so that everyone gets paid. But I do kind of feel like we're at the point where it's
thanks, bot.
And end it all except for
Appreciate
there's the reason why I say it may be the last is we had a conversation today, Allison and I, about what's the most effective means of managing the issue. And it's okay, maybe what we do is we end 70%. We would keep Timcast IRL, a skeleton crew to have it operate, the morning show, and the boonies. We'd have one single secondary investment outside of the shows.
Right.
And that would allow me more time to be hands-on to make sure that it operates properly. But that's more so just like, but doing that is still trying to justify why we have to keep working as hard as possible.
Is your property more for your crew or because it's something you wanted?
Doing the Freedomistan, boonies show.
I don't know anything about that.
It's what I wanted.
Okay.
And it's like there's actually several big components to it. Skateboarding is dead.
It's fun.
The skateboard industry collapsed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought Allison was the COO, but Tim needs to hire an experienced CEO that he's not fucking. Let me be blunt. Tim shouldn't be fucking his CEO. That should be Tim needs an old retired CEO that does consulting on the side to help businesses grow through exactly the types of things that Tim's business is growing through. I'm not saying fire Allison. I'm not saying remove her entirely, but you shouldn't be fucking your COO.
And
I used to be a poser, thank you.
Oh, that's well, you tried.
Well, I would just get high and then I would watch my friends skateboard. I had a Cheech and Chong board for a minute.
What year was that? 91?
96.
Yeah, so like I love skateboarding.
I did
and,
too. Well, not really.
We've got, some of our buddies are some, big pros and they love skateboarding.
Yeah, they're
and
awesome.
Everyone's like, I've talked to some of the biggest guys in the industry and they're like, skateboarding is dead.
My
some
son
of the biggest,
loves it.
Some of the biggest shoe companies are collapsing.
Yeah.
And that's the heart and soul of the skateboard industry. Is
Yeah,
that
they're
skate
comfy.
shoes.
Yeah, like
DCs
Vans
are
and DCs
the-
and all
DCs
that.
are so
Well,
It's like New Balance and stuff now as
New
well.
Balance.
Yeah.
A lot of
Vans is
yeah.
fine
Nike,
because
Nike,
Vans
yeah.
is an urban generic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
anybody
Vans
will wear
have
those.
become like you can get them at Kohl's,
Yeah.
They still make DCs though.
Yeah. DC's fine. Like
Yeah.
mall brands are fine.
Yeah.
But there were core brands. I think Soltech was one of them, and they sold
Soul Tech
recently.
is gone. Yeah, my
Yeah.
booker used to work there. And
Crazy.
then there's also what was it? Echo?
Echo, I remember Echo.
Mark Echo.
Etnies,
Is that gone?
Etnies was the one.
Etnies was
was one?
Soltech. Was that Soltech?
Was,
think so.
that might
I
have
don't
been
know.
part of Soltech.
Right. Soltech sold somewhere.
Because there's World Industries. Is that still around?
That's not a shoe company though. It's
Oh, they never made shoes?
oh no, actually,
I thought they
did start making
made
shoes.
shoes for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they made cargo pants and stuff for a second. I skated a long time ago.
Well, skateboarding's
Well, fake skated.
skateboarding's
so it's dead.
consolidating
I got high with
as the
skaters.
money evaporates.
Okay. Yeah.
People, and it's because you're not getting kids to skate.
Yeah.
And so part of it was like, well, I want to skate, but we want skateboarding to persist. We want young people to skate. We want kids to be inspired to skate. We want to cheer for that kid who lands his first kickflip.
Yeah.
A lot of world firsts have been accomplished in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
I think it was Guy Curry who landed the kickflip body varial 900?
That name sounds familiar because I heard
Might
you
have
talking
been.
about it, so I'm not sure.
I'll
I think it was
pose
Geek.
and be like, yeah.
And
On Vashel, good to see you. Tim's next business should be hanky panky with your coworkers. No one should have that business. No one create that business. That's a horrible idea.
it's just
Totally.
it's like a tremendous feat, but the industry is dead. And so there's two things. There's my passion and there's the opportunity. Skateboarding is in the Olympics. So there's going to be investment, but likely what's going to happen is
You have
it's
an
going
Olympian in your house right now.
indeed.
Yeah.
Really?
We do.
Yeah,
Yes.
for real. Yeah, I was talking
Yeah.
to her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But if the Olympics comes in 2028 and everyone just backs off, it's going to get picked up by like the equivalent of a tobacco company, like a nameless guy in a suit who's like, skateboarders should be wearing unitards, and that's where we're headed.
I think if Marlboro buys it, though, there's a chance it might thrive again.
The Cowboys?
Actually, to be fair,
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're under a lot of regulations. So.
Yeah, they are. That's true. But I mean, with
They're
skating,
gonna
they-
bring the I warned a bunch of
the
skaters. I
Marlboro
was
miles,
like,
you can get trucks and wheels.
dude,
yeah. See,
I'm like,
this
look
is-
at
this is-
gymnastics.
I heard
Yeah.
about
do you
this.
see them wearing cargo
Heard about
pants?
this.
I'm not allowed to watch them.
No.
Yeah, it's
the
this
men.
whole thing.
So you think they're going to take
Yeah, I'm not allowed to watch men's
the
gymnastics.
leotards over baggy
Yep, hands
nice
down, no
clothes?
question.
Dude, that
with,
happens
move that way?
with custom, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a onesie where the shoes are attached like booties.
Oh, my
Dude,
Lord.
this is almost exactly what happened in skiing. Like almost
Right.
like hand in hand. It's like hand in glove. It's exactly what happened in skiing. Like they said, oh, it's not going to be all like regimented. It's not going to be all serious. But
Yeah.
then suddenly the FIS is like, well, you got to tell us what trick you're doing in the first
Yo.
mogul jump and the second mogul.
Hang on. Do you guys want to blow Farm Sim Daddy's mind? You think men getting pregnant is your biggest issue? Can we just I'm going to take a point of personal privilege for everyone who doesn't actually watch my leftist content. Bro, you think men getting pregnant is our most important issue? Oh, bro, hang on. Let me introduce you to my Substack where I do my coverage of the far left. And let me introduce you to a story I covered not too long ago. You think men getting pregnant is the biggest issue. No. No, that's not the biggest issue at all. You haven't heard about this story from anyone. Let me tell you about the Harvard Kennedy School of Government policy position paper that states that in order to abolish all gender and achieve gender equity, they want all children born outside the womb so that gender is decoupled from birthing entirely. So not only do they want to not have anyone giving birth to anything. They want to abolish all men and all women. And this was an official policy position that was advanced by a Harvard Kennedy School graduate student, which is their political school, in the student policy review 2 fucking years ago. And this is not the only time I have the far left talking about all children born via surrogacy. I covered a story a couple years ago about how they're trying to figure out how to gestate babies in the bodies of brain dead people. And this is the type of stuff I normally cover on my channel that you guys never want to come and watch because you're just interested in Tim Pool and drama and intrigue. And I understand being interested in drama and intrigue, but this is the real shit, guys. This is the real shit. Come to my normal stream, subscribe to the channel. I will show you the craziest shit that you've never seen on the internet. Well, what do you think non-binary means, Data? Why are people identifying as non-binary? They, them pronouns. Non-binary means no binary. They're teaching it in schools from the time kids are 5 years old. Anyway, that's an important conversation. That's not for right now. Now we have to go back to drama, or people are going to be upset because this is all people want on the internet. But there's more important things going on, which I've been screaming about for years. Not bitter or nothing. All right, let's keep going.
We'll jump, but if you don't tell us exactly and do that exact trick, so all the creativity is gone. There's nothing. There's no more. The sport's going to become like Tim's saying, like a target sport.
It'll be a target sport in 2 seconds. Yeah. So I've talked to some pros, and they're like, "Nah, I don't know about that. Like, people aren't going to want to do it." I'm like, "I'm telling you, when China says we want to win and we don't give a crap what you're wearing, they're going to force their team to put on onesies because it's beneficial."
Yep.
Yeah, people jam hot dogs down their throat for competition. Skateboarding still has a fighting chance. I believe that.
I hear you, but
like my son loves it, and I know his friends are starting to love it. I mean, he's 9.
It's
so
not
that's
going
a
anywhere.
Generation, you know.
It's just right now the industry is. Yeah, it might turn into a target sport. Like who's quitting skiing?
Right.
Who's quitting skiing? Right? You know,
exactly.
what I mean? Like skiing.
I did, but I quit a lot of things.
That's unfortunate.
No,
but
I did ski.
that's
I
why
fell down a hill on my face, and it looked like 20 guys beat the crap out of me.
No, that is not.
It was not It was softer snow, and my ski got stuck in a mogul, and then I just went down the hill like a Chevy Chase fall. And I just woke up at the bottom. Oh, I didn't wake up. I woke up in the hospital.
You know
but
what?
yeah, after that, I was like, I don't want to.
Can we just get like 07s in the chat for Dave Landau? Bless his heart. Honestly, Dave Landau is honestly doing exactly what he should be doing in this circumstance. And I don't actually feel either way about Dave Landau, but Dave Landau is being a good guy in this circumstance. He's just like sitting back and he's cracking jokes and he's like not feeding into Tim's insanity. He's like, do you know what? And I mean what I'm about to say in the best way. Dave Landau is being the court jester, and I mean that as a compliment. Because the court jester was the only person who could actually tell the king what was what. Because the court jester did it with humor, and he just kind of like, he entertained the king, right? And so Dave Landau, bless him, he's got a good heart. You can see just in how he's reacting to the situation that he's a good guy.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I was like just bloody. It looked like somebody had just beaten the crap out of me, but it was just my ski got stuck in a mogul.
And you flipped forward?
Yeah, dude.
Oof.
It was
wait,
a high knob in Michigan.
Were you going down moguls?
I was going down the Black Diamond because I decided
Black Diamond moguls?
Yeah, because I thought I'd
Were you
follow.
professional?
No, and that's my brother and my friend Dean decided to do it, and I was like, me too. And then my ski got stuck, and then I seriously went down
No
every
such thing as
mogul on my face.
neo-Marxism. It's just
I think I went
Marxism.
skiing for the second time, and I was struggling to go down to green diamonds.
Yeah, it's not easy.
There's no such thing as a green diamond.
Like
a green
I'll
circle.
bunny hill it now.
I disagree though.
Hey guys, why don't let people in my chat tell Chris what we talk about on this channel? Ask people in the
snowboard. I can go down. I've gone down a double black diamond on a snowboard in fresh powder. That's kind of easier.
Yeah, that's totally.
Well, I've done some snowboarding, but I'm just not.
I don't care about Tim's
snowboarding. I can actually get around.
I guess
well.
if I tried.
Like Alice and I went snowboarding, and we were going down the intermediates.
Square.
Yeah, just over and over and over again, and doing
That's
little jumps and going through the park and doing little jumps and stuff. Because I've been skateboarding, so snowboarding seemed like the first thing to do.
Everybody I knew who skated snowboarding.
But I think skiing's easier.
It is easier.
Skiing is easier, but does snowboarding translate from
No.
Skateboarding?
No, definitely not. Because like skiing, you have like fall line, your body going this. Snowboarding, you're turning your whole body towards a slope. So
Yeah, I
really
don't-
facing the slope sometimes.
And I feel like on skis you don't catch an edge as often.
Yeah, I smashed my head a couple times when I first tried snowboarding, like literally. Down.
You don't see a lot of
So
old
happy I was wearing a
people,
helmet.
Yeah, snowboarding either. Like I have 4 rods in my knee. I'm not going to go near a snowboard.
Good
And that wasn't even from that accident. That was just slipping on keg beer.
So to bring us all the way back, because we're off on a tangent, that's why I wanted to do Cast Castle, Freedomistan, the Boonies,
Gotcha.
is to build culture. And it's like, damn, I'm just kind of like, after 4 years, maybe we just can't do it. They're like, no amount of money is going to make it possible. If you don't have the people who want to do it
Then
and nobody wants to do
find
it,
the
like I
fucking
feel like
people,
the reality is
bro.
just skateboarding is dead. You need that person who every day
wait. Tim's rationalization for why he can't find good people to hire is skateboarding is dead, and therein lies the problem, guys. Therein lies the problem. He just needs to go to a different place. That's all. Like, Tim is in this echo chamber of people that are all of a certain type, and Tim does not realize that there are all sorts of worlds out there that are people that he's never heard of and never interacted with, that have a different personality type, that will be able to more than adequately run Tim's business. But because Tim is in this silo, he doesn't realize all the things he doesn't see. And this is why he needs a more experienced advisor.
wakes up and says, I just want to go film a video. And then they do it. But I don't know that that exists. The people who can do it have their own channels and they're making a modest living doing it. And it's not going to go beyond that because they're like, why would I do anything else? So what we usually end up with is, oh, this guy's got a channel. Maybe he wants to grow and will invest. And they're like, no, I make money. I don't need to do it.
Tim would never hire me. He's too
And
intimidated by me.
that's a lot of things.
Would
We've
never happen.
You know, for the shows that we've launched, obviously before we launched them, we reached out to other people who are already doing shows and said, hey, we could invest in this and help you grow it. And then the deal we would work is kind of like a record label deal. Like we'll get a small percentage and then, but you control everything and we'll advertise it for you. No, not interested. No, we don't need it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that, though.
Yeah, is
I
that
would.
recently? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that recently because like I could see that being 2 years ago, maybe not 1 year, but like modern world with how big IRL is and the Timcast brand, they still like.
Thanks,
No, we're
Wolf
good
and
on
No,
Owl.
absolutely not. Yeah. And I mean, I was talking about this a long time
Appreciate it,
ago when
bro.
I was talking
Thank
two
you.
years ago. I was talking. The Daily Wire made a pitch like, "Hey," and I'm like, "I got a company with 20 employees and we make 8 figures." Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. That was
Yeah,
like
I'm
right
like-
when they came on.
I don't. Like with those guys are great.
Yeah.
I respect their honesty in business. It's maybe it's because they're Christians or not all of them, but
Well, not all of them. One's pretty much
one's a
not
Jewish.
at all.
Thanks, John Wick.
but in terms of
serious
like
about
the people that I negotiated
Yeah.
with, I'm like maybe it's just they have scruples and they believe in something else beyond them. They don't want to be evil.
No,
Not that they're
I
perfect,
agree.
and there are people who do not like them, so that's fair. But
Yeah.
but that was basically the issue back then. It's like I got a company, I can do whatever I want. You know, why do a deal with you and then you can do it?
True,
you know,
true.
but I think that's the challenge with growing something that rivals, say, like Disney. So if you look at the way the left operates today, especially, is they're a what do we call them, like a hive of wasps or a fire?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tim's gonna talk about the
There's
left.
not.
Here we go.
I mean,
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, no, a flu. I mean, whatever you wanna call it.
but like look at how they operate. They march in lockstep with each other.
Yeah.
No.
Nonstop.
It's a swarm
Yeah.
that
Kind
it
of
accomplishes
right.
what it does through swarm hive ideology. The movies are
Kind of
bad.
Right.
Yes.
They're bombing. Nobody wants
That's
to see
not
them.
what the left
But
does.
everybody
That's
marches in
not what the left
lockstep,
does,
agreeing with
Tim.
each other all the way down.
It's crazy.
But I think the problem is I
Tim
don't.
knows nothing about
What
the
are we
left.
delivering on the right? That's what I'm trying to do with sketch. That's what I'm trying to do with film. Like we're not making things that are bad. Like
We just
put up-
complain.
Yeah, and I mean I just put up a
good at it.
movie that I made called The King, and it did really well. I
not
pulled it off
from
in 24
Harvard, but they
hours. I
write
was
stuff all
surprised
the
how many
time.
people liked it because that was my own nerves. But still, like I don't think we're putting out stuff that's necessarily relatable on the right, and we're putting out stuff that
True.
people are dying to see. I think a lot of it misses the
Yeah.
mark. I mean that's the reality. I mean,
Well,
if
The
we're
right has no idea how to create culture. Absolutely no idea. They have no fucking idea. The people who are doing this best on the right are Nick Fuentes and the Groypers. Nick Fuentes and the Groypers, and I shit you not, if you have a certain impression of Nick Fuentes, you really need to just listen to what he's saying and you need to give him another look. I went to their event in person. I experienced it myself. Nick Fuentes and the Groypers are creating a punk rock counterculture. made up of Catholic virgins, but it is a punk rock counterculture. It has that vibe. They understand how to create culture. There are all sorts of people in the Groyper ranks that are like doing creative stuff. They're doing their own shows. They're being edgy. They're doing art. They're doing humor. They're doing music. It's just like, it is honestly amazing. That is who is creating culture on the right. And that is why everyone, by the way, is so afraid of Nick Fuentes and the Groypers. It's not just because they're assholes on Twitter, even though they are. But that's not why. There are way worse people than Nick Fuentes on the internet. Like, far, far, far worse. The right doesn't know how to create art. They don't know how to create culture. All they do is infight and complain and whine and complain, and that's it. And then they go, we're winning. But they're not really winning. They're just trying to tell themselves they're winning because that's what makes them feel good. Yeah, Tim's music isn't very good. So listen, man. No shade. It's just Tim's music isn't very good, and I think we all need to agree on that if we're going to be friends. It's not good. He is talented in other places. He doesn't need to be doing music.
Actually want to rival with something like Disney. I mean, I think you have to put forward actual stories people want to watch without agenda. And I think the problem is there's always an agenda.
The opportunity, that's why I think
that's what the
Am I
left
Racist?
sucks.
I think Am I Racist did well, and my praise for it is because
it was good,
but it was barely political. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it appeals to like normal people.
I often bring up the slapstick that was in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sit up in the glasses.
The title was polarizing.
Putting the butter on the plate.
Yeah. The title was polarizing to get it, and that's what I liked about it was it didn't go in the route that I thought it would.
Yeah. There's a scene where Matt is serving these anti-racists and he's trying to put butter on their plate and she's like pushing him away to not do it and he just reaches over and does it anyway. Like
chivalry.
Right. He drops the plates on the ground. There are a lot of jokes that are not, it's not like, I would say the movie's not politics. It's actually it's satirically exploring their own worldview.
Sure.
So you don't need to give a message other than let's do it and let it be itself.
That's what I mean. I think if you're just being yourself and you're putting that out there, that's a lot more quality because everything else operating out of that side is agenda driven.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous how bad stuff has become.
But like it's also like a standalone complex. Like they do that on their own is what Tim is trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, they just do it because they just have like this pre-programmed thing. They know how to achieve whatever they're trying to achieve. They don't really realize what it is. They don't maybe not actually Marxist, but they're being controlled with people that they know more about. They don't know.
Bro. The left understands what it's doing. The left knows explicitly what it's doing. It is the right that does not understand what the left is doing. The right is the problem.
Sure.
Here are a few good examples that I would consider the quote-unquote right, despite not really. Ryan Long and Andrew Schultz.
Absolutely. Great, dude.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't call them political.
No.
They do things because they want to do it and they do it for themselves and they run their own companies. Wasn't Andrew's story that like he sold to Netflix and then bought it back? Or who was that?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, he sold to Amazon.
I thought it was
Netflix.
Netflix.
It was Amazon. That
Yeah.
was his new special. He did have a Netflix special, but that wasn't the issue.
That wasn't the one?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, he bought it back for $1 million and put it out himself.
Yeah. And then
it
it like
was huge.
yeah. And so
And yeah, Ryan's a good friend of mine. He's done sketches for us, and he's just somebody who he's making fun of the current culture.
Yeah, whatever's funny.
Even like Rogan. All those
Yeah.
guys who aren't right wing, they just
Exactly.
put out stuff. But they're suddenly right all of a sudden.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
you know, my mentality right now is like, if I were to do my morning show, and then either for like the members that want to stick around, do like a 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. members hangout where we do like the members only show Q&A. Not only that, but if I did the morning show, and then depending on how I want to run it, setting a time. So it's if I recorded a handful of segments early in the morning,
Yeah.
and then from like 1 to 2 did some kind of interview show like IRL, which was much simpler, and then record a couple more segments, I could be done by 4 and not going to bed at 11. So the schedule for IRL also makes it very difficult. The other challenges that we have is travel, booking. Like the morning show doesn't have any of these requirements, and we don't do Zoom, and Zoom is not good.
No, it sucks.
Yeah. And everybody's like, do the Zoom interviews, and it's like,
Those are terrible.
yeah, it's gonna suck when that takes over, but it will, because this is a component of automation where it's like, it's not literal automation, but if you go to a business and you say, we're gonna do a show with these really great in-person conversations, it's gonna cost us, X amount per year, then someone else says, I'll do the same show with the same guests, but 0 travel and accommodation costs, no ancillary staff for accommodating guests, because we'll do it digitally. I tell you every time what the business is going to choose.
Yeah, true.
Exactly. And that's why quality fails.
But the problem is, When you put
I'm
two
just saying
businesses to
it's
compete with
hard.
each other, and one tries to be in person and one is digital, digital will win every time.
Of course.
Because even though the quality is lesser, the output will be more, and they'll bury you.
Yep.
So they can be like, I can interview a celebrity tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, we can't. They'll say like, I don't know when I'll be able to make it out there. I don't know if I'm going to.
You got to fly him in and all that baloney. Okay.
Let's say we want to get Jordan Peterson on the show, and we've talked to him, and he's like, I'd like to come out at this time. Maybe we'll figure it out. If we had Zoom, he'd be like, oh, I can Zoom tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so these other people who want to hear that, it's not as good.
You hear that? That was a good voice.
Spot on.
That's so funny.
Didn't mean to laugh, but yeah.
You know what I'll do? We'll have the cameras give out, and then I'll do all the voices, and I'll be like, Trump and Jordan Peterson are here right now with me. It's live in person. I trust me.
You bring back Fauci.
Just have two impersonators all the time.
I made that joke with Seamus before. I was like, let's just do like an audio.
So you're telling me that Tim has invested in building multiple studios, and Tim couldn't have, mandated that they were going to have a Zoom connection in at least one of those studios? Is that the problem? Is that really what we're talking about? Because, again, I haven't watched him like regularly in years, but I do have some vague recollection of like when he moved to this property, he was talking about how like he didn't want to do a Zoom hookup and all this stuff. And I can understand not wanting to do a Zoom hookup at first. I can kind of get it. But as the years go on, didn't Tim learn from that experience? And couldn't he have just said, you know what, set up a fucking webcam? Is this the hardest thing that's ever happened in the world?
Podcast, and we'll do the best show ever, and Seamus will just do the voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been thinking about. Like, if I were to do what I just described, it requires 0 staff.
I would actually like to listen to a show where you're just interviewing people pretending to be that person.
Actually, that'd be a good show for you.
Take it seriously the whole time, though. Never let it break. It is that person.
That actually is a good idea for a funny show.
I would do it.
You should do it.
I do in a heartbeat. Just interview people that are pretend, and then I won't know.
Tyler Fisher.
Oh, I love Tyler.
Have him do Trump and then interview him as if he's Trump.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there in his beard.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not even noticing.
That would be pretty fun. It would be like Between Two Ferns or whatever. You could do something like that.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
But do you enjoy IRL? You enjoy it, right? You like
it's
talking and
just
having a good time?
heavy. It's a very heavy object. The time slot is extremely heavy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. Like our speakers, we have no idea why, but a channel has been missing from them. And even on the new machine, for some reason, a channel is missing. So it's like we were playing 2 weeks
I don't
from
know
all
what
that
that means, by the way, guys. But
so I'll explain. We played 2 weeks from All That Remains, and the song, the first 30 seconds of the song is just a snare drum going. Because the song starts with guitar, but the channel is missing, so it's not there.
Oh, so you're just hearing the bass?
You only hear the snare drum and nothing else.
That's it? Oh, God.
Yeah. And we're like, well, we
Phil
can't
puts out
figure
great
out
music.
Yeah,
that's great
some
stuff.
kind of cancellation is coming in where
It's like Yoko Ono, though. I mean, there's a market.
it may be that the sound is doubling up.
Yeah.
I'm not a sound engineer, but the sound.
No, I am playing. I'm playing with slime. I have a slime habit. It's slime. Okay, don't judge me. You're telling. Okay, 1 in the chat if you think that Tim is making an absolutely pathetic excuse that most normal people could figure out. 2 in the chat if you think that Tim is just is completely right and completely correct and he should absolutely quit because this is just all too much. 1 in the chat if you think that Tim is making a pathetic excuse. 2 in the chat if you're on Tim's side.
They could be canceling themselves out.
I think it's just the output matrix. I looked into it enough, like in the last 2 or 3 days.
That's the other thing too. It's like we've tried doing. There's a bunch of stuff we want to do with road shows. It's so incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah,
I love those, but yeah, it's very hard to get everybody together to do one thing.
Super expensive.
Yeah.
We weren't able to get our election show going, so we've been planning for a year. Like, this is the 2024 election. We need to have a big show up and running. And then if I'm not doing it, it doesn't happen. That's actually here. I can explain everything. If I don't do it, it doesn't happen.
Hold on? Can I talk back on this? I don't have anything to do with the technical terminology. I only know what I can do. But hearing you as myself, who's, I used to super chat in like, Tim, you want to put a fucking TV? I
already swore. It's whatever.
You already want to put up, you want to put up a TV? I'll come down because I'm only 2 hours away. I'll put the TV up for you. I don't get that aspect. Like,
when did we want to
Okay, Rottweiler, thank you for the super chat. Again, Tim hiring friends and not actual IT guys to manage something is as simple as setting a Zoom up. Much smaller companies do this on a daily basis. Tim is being a big ass fucking baby is what's going on right now.
We got the big screen up at Freedom right now.
Yeah.
When did we first plan that?
It was beginning of
imagine being so ungrateful. Imagine being so ungrateful for what you have. That this is the thing that makes you quit. Listen, man, maybe this is a personal thing, but I have had to fight for every fucking thing I've had on the internet. And like, I went viral in 2020 and that's how I grew my channel. But like, then I basically divorced myself from the conservative movement. I was like, you guys suck. I'm not going to involve myself anymore. And ever since then, I've had to fight for every single thing that I've had. I have had to fight for every audience member that I've had. I've had to fight for every supporter that I have. I have to fight every single time I want to do a project, like going undercover at a place or something like that. And you know what? I am incredibly appreciative of the people who fund my work, who allow me to do what I do, because it is an amazing thing. Yeah, sometimes it sucks. I cover the most dystopian things in the world. Sometimes I get really depressed and all that stuff, but it is an amazing thing to be able to sit here and teach people what the left is doing, like 6 days a week, and to have an amazing community of people that support me in doing that. And I will never be ungrateful for what I have. And my stuff will never be as big as Tim's is. It will just never happen. And I know that, and that's fine. But imagine having what he has and being so fucking ungrateful that you're just like, you know what, a graphics card is a step too far. Hiring a real CEO that I'm not fucking is a step too far. Like, Tim's audience should be insulted. They should be insulted. They should be pissed. Like, Tim does not appreciate them at all. They have allowed Tim to do what he's doing, being a fucking skateboarding slacker on the internet all the time. And he can talk about, I work 16 hours a day, all he wants. That was his choice. Just like it's my choice to do it. It was his choice. He never could have, it never had to play out like this. It really didn't. How ungrateful.
Live because we wanted it, or June, at the beginning of June.
It's been 4 months.
Yeah. Well,
to get a TV.
To be honest with you,
to get a projector screen installed on the wall.
But
what?
Hold on.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but it's already done. Oh. but the thing was, I gotta make some tweaks. The thing was, like, I gave the information out to the managerial people.
Hey,
I'm just saying that's just how it was. And then 2 months later, we're on IRL Live. You're like, it's not up yet. You haven't ordered it. I'm like, no, sir, because I don't have no say in that matter.
And then
we got it. It was been up. We got it, and it was up in 3 days after we got it.
But what about the speakers?
I don't. Nobody told me.
This is just the thing. Like,
nobody. I would do it.
The lifting required to make everything happen is like, I have to go with a clipboard and be like, mush.
Well, put Raymond in charge, and you won't have to say mush anymore.
With all due respect, though, I don't think, and it's not personal.
Yeah.
I just think everyone feels that they could, and then they can't.
I've done it. It's my history. It's my job history.
Feels personal.
So you don't know my job history.
It's personal. It's you, Raymond.
Listen to this. And I don't know anything about this guy, and maybe Tim's right, and maybe he can't do it. But Tim has someone literally sitting right in front of him that has at least some proven track record of getting something done. Right? Raymond put in the request for the TV. As soon as Raymond's request was approved, he installed the fucking TV and everything was fine. And Raymond is sitting there saying, Tim, I can fix this problem. I can fix this problem. I can fix this problem. Help me. Let me fix this problem, Tim. I can help you, Tim. And Tim's going, no, you just think you can, but you can't. But apparently he has some sort of proven track record of doing something. And apparently he has a resume that Tim doesn't even know about, because Tim's hiring criteria for Raymond was, you send in super chats to the show, bro. But Tim doesn't even know Raymond's background. But apparently Raymond's saying, bro, I've literally done this before. This is what I'm talking about. Tim is complaining about how no one will do anything and no one will get anything done and yada, yada, yada. And he literally has someone sitting right in front of them is like, Tim, I'll do it. Let me do it. I'll do it. I want to do it, Tim. Please let me do it, Tim. And Tim's like, no, everyone sucks and my life sucks and everything's too hard and yada, 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 yada. Maybe Raymond does suck at his job. I have no idea. But if he does, then why is he still working there? These are all fixable problems. That Tim has access to the resources he needs right now, and he's being stubborn and ungrateful and refusing to do what's required. So, I mean, maybe he just doesn't want to be successful. Maybe he doesn't want to do it anymore. Maybe he just wants to retire. Maybe his heart's not in it. Fine, but admit it. But don't blame it on everyone else.
No, but you don't. You just think I'm a fan. You don't know my previous jobs or what I've done in my life.
No, I believe you.
So
I'm just saying, like,
he doesn't even know
you
what this
wanted to
guy's
get it done,
qualifications
and
are.
you handed off the paperwork, and then didn't know what happened next.
Yeah, I waited.
Exactly.
And then
It doesn't matter if you're in charge of it or not.
It does actually.
That
Tim.
happens
It
unless
does
I, with
actually.
executive authority,
Oh my
go around to
God.
everybody and say, "Round it up." Raymond said, "By the screen, by the screen."
Which is why you said there has to be someone that's like CEO.
Yeah, that's why you
versus
need
someone like
some
yourself.
managerial position, like you were saying, like just exactly like you're saying, Tim. You
Yeah,
need
that's-
someone
yeah.
in that spot
Need a CEO.
who could be,
Yeah.
who could be your
Yes, so
second,
you're not fucking.
Yep.
Yes.
Well,
or third, or whoever. I don't know how
COO
the
that you're
structure
not
here works
fucking.
exactly.
that's the issue then becomes the. So usually what happens for most companies like this is they'll take on strategic investment, and then a guy in a suit shows up, and that's
Yeah, it's gonna
exactly
have
what
to
we're
be a guy
talking
in a
about,
suit.
and then everyone
Yep.
says, "Wow, this company used to be fun,"
Yeah.
and it's
Right.
like, "Welcome to the real world."
Well,
We
sometimes
could go that route, I suppose.
You know what, Tim?
But
You know what? You want to run a successful business? Sometimes people are going to have to do shit they don't want to do. You think that hiring an old experienced CEO or COO with wisdom that maybe wants to wear a suit jacket to work, you think that's going to ruin everything, bro? You think that's just a bridge too far? Sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do, Tim. Sometimes you got to put on your fucking big boy pants and listen to other people who know more than you.
I don't know.
I hear
You have to enjoy what you're doing. Like
You do.
if I'm making film or you're making, if you're making,
I enjoy doing this.
You're skating, you enjoy doing this. But yeah, I mean, there has to be a passion behind it. I think it's not so much that it used to be fun. It's just like you have to enjoy what you're doing. If they're not enjoying what they're doing, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would. I mean, he does.
Yeah.
It seems, and it's like it's not.
I love my job.
Yeah, I mean, there are people
But it's
out
just,
there that are that hungry and they want it. But people do get very complacent, I'll say, when they think
a lot of that.
Well, especially
Very
if
true.
you're trying to be a nice guy, you're trying to run a company, then you can get walked on, and then you let one thing slide, you might let another thing slide. That's not on you. I do the same thing, and then eventually it snowballs, and then I'm like, okay, this is bad.
One of the challenges is
I'm saying it's not that it's not fun. It's that,
that
it's,
what I was saying is it's like if everyone's doing 90% capacity, that's pretty dang good.
Yes,
but that
it
means
is.
10% has to be for every 10% failure it has to be picked up by me or Allison, and we can't. So we can sell. You know what I mean? I can be like, oh, you guys want to keep IRL around? Okay, well, who can I sell to?
I'm sure people would buy it,
Maybe.
but
maybe.
Do you want that?
I would.
Because now you have a boss.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like right now you're.
That's yes with a but.
Yeah,
High profile people and talent are known for their problematic behaviors for that reason.
Thank you. I'm blushing.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like at a certain level, there's a person who's your boss, but they know that there's a difference between an employee who says, we're going to fire you, and a talent who says, we need you to stop sticking gun under the table during the show.
Right.
And then how do we manage the talent? And so it's really a cooperative effort at the highest levels.
Of course.
So if I sold the show to somebody, it's, hey, I want you guys to run this, and we'll make this the best show and the biggest show ever, and we'll keep it going. That would be absolutely fantastic. And we're gonna compromise with each other on that regard. And it's a mutual respect for the person who runs a business and the person who runs a big successful show and makes it possible.
Right.
As for some employee shows up and takes a dump on the floor, they say, get out, you're fired.
Right.
One of the challenges.
Depending.
I hear a lot of well, you got to get managers to
that's
go in
part
there
of
and
the
start telling
problem,
people
isn't it?
do it or else. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to work at a company, or maybe it's just not possible to have a company where people are motivated by fear and don't want to be there. I don't want that.
That's the worst kind of leadership. You don't.
But I
want- you
think
don't
that's
want
all
whoever's
companies.
No. You don't have to do. But I guess it's always fear of getting fired. But
I mean, Hitler
You
was
have a
pretty
good leader.
successful.
Leads from the front.
People loved that guy.
I mean,
that was
really,
scary.
yeah.
They don't,
No, but I mean, like
they
the
don't lead
people
from
who
threatening.
the Nazis terrifyingly worshipped a guy who was
Yeah.
out of his
Well,
mind.
good thing we're not Germany.
Oh, Tim
and
should have talked
Nazi
to
people.
Nick.
Well,
So you're saying that I should cultify
yeah.
and
I'm saying you could learn a
No.
little from Hitler. You don't have to take all of it. Like
only not
yeah.
the bad stuff.
just the business acumen.
Oh, sure.
And maybe the
Yeah.
maybe the
W.
meth if you're
Hitler.
working 16-hour days.
Yeah, he was tweaking out.
Obviously,
with
I
Hitler's
heard
the worst
about
person
that.
who ever
Oh,
lived. I'm just
they were
making
on
a joke.
everything because everything was just
Hitler was
legal in
awful.
Germany. You just go to the
He
store.
was
Well,
not
I think it was
helpful.
like they had it was recently
Hitler
discovered.
sucked.
Yes.
And so they're like, look
They're
at this
like
thing that makes
brand
me
new
feel
thing?
good.
Yeah.
They're doing crazy drills.
Yeah, acid and all that
It's the
stuff.
first time anyone's ever done it, and they're just okay. That's
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
like a video of
this
him
is-
tweaking and he's like shaking back and forth or
It's
something.
like this. You know what I should do? I should kill a bunch. So it's
Well, when you're on drugs and your brain is fried,
yeah, you really don't know where to go, and then you're like, they're all listening to me now. I used to be a
I'm
painter.
somebody, Mom.
Look at all
Look
this
at me.
confidence I
used to
have.
be a painter. I know of companies that were well, I'll just say it. I mean, Vice was called a cult.
Yo, if Tim really quits, I might move my stream to 8 o'clock. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah.
The people there really didn't know what was going on outside. It was kind of wild. So I'll tell you a story. They so I left, and a buddy
Were
of
you
mine.
under Gavin?
No.
He
I
was gone by that point.
Yeah, he was
right?
gone. Shane Sarush and Eddie were in charge when I was
Okay.
there. And nice guys, Shane's a real nice guy, but I guess things didn't go very well for how he was running the show. But actually, I shouldn't speak. I mean, he's got a new podcast. He's probably still rich, so good for him. But what was I going to say? I totally forgot what I was going to say. The cult, right? Yeah,
the cult.
No, the cult. So when I
Tim
left,
can't
a buddy
name
of
his
mine
show
was
the
like,
cult. My show is the cult.
he's like, I read the news every day. And so my buddy's like, I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? How are things over there? And I got him the job actually. And he's like, it's really great. I'm super excited. I'm going to be the lead for the news show on our new cable channel. Because then I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that you guys got a cable channel. It's really cool. I was like, so are you going to move to Toronto? And he goes, what? And I said, you're going to be the news producer on the cable TV news show? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, are you going to move to Toronto? And he goes, no. Why would I move to Toronto? And I was like, because it's a Canadian cable channel.
Right.
And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, bro, it was a Rogers Telecom deal. This was before Viceland. I was like, they got a cable channel deal in Canada. And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm totally lost, bro. Did you not know that? And he's like, they just said we got a cable channel. And I was like,
Hey,
so what
welcome,
happened?
Lord. We
And the story
appreciate
that I
you.
was
Come
told
back
is that
sometime.
Shane has a State of the Union meeting and he orders pizzas for everybody. And there's like this big room, everyone's hanging out. And it's fun because I had been at one. And he grabs the mic and he says, we did it. We got our cable channel. And they all cheer. And he didn't say.
He didn't say Canada?
He didn't say Canadian cable channel. And then
I'm sorry. It's just
That is funny.
it's hilarious.
masterfully done. How about that?
yeah.
And so here's my buddy
You've heard of the
thinking that he's going to be
CBC.
on cable TV in the United States. And it's like, bro, you got 30 million households up in Canada.
Yeah.
Good- Like, I wasn't ragging on him. I was just.
hang on. We have a very important question over on Rumble. I don't want to name says, what are your thoughts on continental versus English knitting? Like I am an English knitter myself. I've tried to learn continental. I don't like it. I don't like the rhythm of it. I like tossing the yarn. And so I am an English style knitter and I believe it is far superior. Thank you for your question.
Like, oh, congratulations. That sounds really cool. Like, are you going to move to Toronto? And then he was just like, so.
But just
Vice-
you should be more specific. If it's just Toronto
And that's the whole I'm buying pizza for you
Well,
and everyone.
there was an article
all you
written.
can afford is pizza. It's a Canadian TV deal.
That's right. there was an article written about Vice where it said it's a cult that people were willing to work there for free. Just to do
Really?
that. Yeah. And they had a bunch of interns that effectively worked there for free. And then the Supreme Court issued the ruling you can't have interns work for free. They have to be paid, at least minimum wage. And then that changed everything for them a lot. So the thing about New York media
Good night, average
is
person.
that the people who work in these news organizations, you might be wondering why they're all elitist, snooty liberals. It's because in order to get a job at the New York Times, you have to be able to work for free. You want to get a job at the New York Times, you intern there. Interning now is going to be like, let's say this. Let's say the New York Times entry-level position is still only going to pay $48,000 or $50,000 in New York City,
Which is impossible.
Nothing, yeah.
unless your parents are rich.
Well, yeah, which is a lot.
And
of
then
them.
if you come from a rich family and your family says, my daughter will be working at the New York Times.
Yeah.
Honey, we'll pay, your trust fund is fine. We'll keep it replenished and we'll pay for your condo. And then you end up with a lot of well-to-do liberals whose parents pay so they get a job at the New York Times.
Yeah, they've never experienced pain or anything in their life, and then they
Right.
just are able to, kiss up and continue the very, very exciting New York Times.
That's right. And you end up with a media apparatus in this country that is comprised of woke elitists.
Yeah, which is what it has been. I mean, that really is what New York is in general. I mean, there's a lot of the comics too, where it's like, well, of course this person doesn't work the road or try that hard. They have a trust fund. This is just something. Their parents are like, hey, just don't OD. That'll be great. Because most of our family, we're just so rich we OD. That's all we do.
That's the crazy thing too, because we talked about this a little bit before the show. I've complained about it a lot. Like, what do all these rich people do with their money?
Drugs a lot, but I mean, right now, I don't know what they're investing in.
Elon Musk is giving $1 million to people to be spokespeople for his for the Save America.
I
PAC
saw that. I keep entering.
You've registered to vote in Pennsylvania.
No.
So I guess
Michigan, I'm wondering if you do it because that's a swing state.
I don't know what the deal is, other than
Supposedly.
he said that if you're a registered voter who signed his petition and you're in Pennsylvania, you could be selected to receive $1 million.
Yes.
And the left is saying it's illegal. What Elon is doing is hiring people as contract spokespersons for the PAC. The reason you have to sign a petition is he wants to know you believe in free speech and you'll stand for this.
I saw that.
Then he's going to pay you to be a regular American who's promoting these values.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any legal challenge with that. I'm sure he talked to his lawyers about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, chances are he's got a few good ones on staff, being the richest man on earth. Yeah, I think he's
There's a couple
fine.
of them.
Yeah,
yeah, but that's the question I have is like, there's a lot of people I know who, especially they do big shows. Like, what are they doing with their money?
I don't know. I would retire. I just wasn't responsible with it for a while.
I wouldn't. I don't think retirement is real.
No, I don't think it is anymore.
And if you care about the country, you're not going to retire.
Right.
Well,
I
care more about
retire
me.
Retire. I think of the word retire, I see a white blank space.
People that retire end up dying like 5 or 6 years later because they lost all their purpose in life. They have nothing else to live for. People need something to live for, man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Need a purpose.
Yeah, I don't
What
really
do
want
you
to
do all
retire.
day? What do people do all day?
I can't imagine sitting around and like watching TV or just going on
a. How long can I talk about retiring?
Jeez, going on a boat or something. I can see that, or shooting guns, or going on a quad, or having. I can kind of.
Depression keeps me in bed till 5 anyway.
Well, there you go. I guess.
See,
But no, see that's the thing.
But
Like,
once I get out and I decide to not unalive myself, I'm a real go-getter.
I'm getting up every day and saying, how can I do more? What am I not doing effectively?
Of course.
Sure.
And at a certain point, I'm Sisyphus pushing up a rock with a bunch of people sitting on it.
Yeah, because they don't have that same attitude. They don't have that same
right.
passion.
And I'm not trying to
There's a reason why
disrespect people
I'm
sitting on the
only
rock.
human negative, all right?
Well, yeah, if they're sitting on the
I'm
rock, you
only
want to.
human.
Yeah, you want them
You
to.
gotta let 'em know.
They should at least tell you where the rock's going, or maybe they're not pushing it, but they should do
There
something.
is a hill if you keep going.
Yeah, they
and I'm
should-
like, that's not true because I'm Sisyphus. and
Yeah,
the rock
that's a
keeps
fine
going.
push.
Ken, you
Tim.
had this issue like a year ago, I think, because the whole.
just gonna go for it.
I
We're
remember
just gonna
super
do the
chatted
whole
like,
thing.
"Yo, you're not the only one pushing up the hill," because I was just a fan at the time. Now that I'm here in person, but yeah, I guess it's been an overlaying concept in your brain for a minute now.
I think that we as a company lack the talent and managerial capabilities to maintain this show. That's it. It's real simple. Like if the studio's been failing, so 2 years we can't get a coffee shop built.
That doesn't do the show though.
No,
Zero
it's a
to
company.
show. Okay,
and
yeah,
then we have to just.
yeah.
So that's why I was saying one of the options was Skeleton Crew, Timcast IRL, and wind it all down.
But you got a skate park.
Indeed, and that's why it's like, well, I don't know what to do with it.
You could sell coffee.
I do sell coffee. Coffee sales are really good.
Yeah.
People buy coffee a lot.
But you mean like
great.
the actual brick and mortar is what you want?
Oh, right.
Like,
we
I'm serious.
sell
Yeah,
coffee
like-
through the show. Casper.
I know that, but like, are you
valuable.
referring to like an actual? You just mean
We have a building.
Yeah, we have an
shop.
old school historic building in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Yeah, that's
which
what
has
I'm
been a
wondering.
pain in the ass.
It's been unable to set up. We've gone through so many contractors who've ripped us off.
Oh yeah, they're good at that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just
Also, supplies are what 4 times now what they were just a couple years ago.
It's crazy.
it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the simple way to put it is we lack the talent and managerial capability to maintain this show. It exists along with all the other projects, only succeed if I'm the one directly in charge of it. So I come in, we've got 2 people who do booking. We've got 2 people who drive guests and IRL functions. Our studio has been failing. We built a new studio and the computer's been failing consistently over the past few weeks, and we lack the capability to have anybody there's no initiative, nor interest, nor talent to complete the job to make sure the studio operates. If that's where we're currently at, I've got to just shut it all down. Because that's like, if I can't film myself, I don't have a company.
Right,
and
you
so
got nothing.
if I rely on other people to run these things and I wake up in the morning and I can't complain about the Democrats insulting Donald Trump working at McDonald's,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here being like, I'm looking at all of these posts and people are saying things and I'm like, no, you got that wrong because
Can I just say, I'm going to take another point of personal privilege. It's my channel. I'll do what I want. I can't imagine a more depressing existence than getting up every single day and complaining about news stories that don't even fucking matter. I really can't, guys. And listen, I used to complain about, and I sometimes still do complain about the news on the internet. I used to do several videos a day complaining about the news on the internet. That was when, but you know what? That was when I was newly red-pilled and I was growing and I was learning and I was doing this complaining on the internet thing because it was a way for me to process information and take stuff in and think through what I thought about it. So it was part of my growth process. It was part of the evolution to where I am now, right? But at some point, I evolved out of it because you can only complain about shit that doesn't matter for so much before you go, what am I even doing? This sucks. This isn't fun. It doesn't feel good to just complain on the internet. And listen, I could make so much more money if I just did that. This isn't even an effectiveness issue. I absolutely know that I would make more money. I would have more viewers. My numbers would be up. Every single time I do something like this, I know what I need to do to get people to watch this channel. I know what I need to do. It's not what I want to do though. What I want to do is analyze the radical revolutionary far left and do deep dives into their content because that's meaty and that means something, and that's actually a fucking real thing that's happening in the real fucking world. And maybe it's depressing and maybe it's too heady for a lot of people, and that's fine, and I get that, I really do, but I cannot imagine a more sad existence than doing what Tim is talking about, which is getting up every single day and complaining about the news. Oh, I have to make fun of the Democrats for making fun of Donald Trump for working at McDonald's. Like, shoot me in the foot now. Honestly.
Article says this, like, I can tweet about it.
That's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
No.
And so then I'm like, okay, should I go right now and just build a new studio? I've got computers and microphones. I could just do it myself. And I'm like, well, we're not doing IRL if that's the case.
Right.
There's no way I'm going to, and I can't do boonies if that's the case. So none of this exists. And it's like, you know, we had the Cartier family on. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they were.
On
They were
Friday.
fun. That was great.
Computer
They were
crashed
fantastic.
midstream. Computer crashed right in the middle of the show.
Wait, I missed that. I heard about it
shut down
afterwards.
for 15 minutes. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Like, we got a decent company here with a lot of employees, and we've consistently been like, the studio's failing. And
Which
then it
one's
just
Cartier?
Cartier.
Cartier.
Yeah, it's these 4 black dudes who were like doing reaction videos.
I saw that. Okay, I saw that.
Now they're
one.
Trump supporters.
Yep.
Those guys are
They're really
super
cool.
awesome.
They hung
Yeah,
out all
those are
day.
good.
They're
Yeah, I saw
super
that.
cool guys.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that was the name of the family.
And like,
I thought of a Blood
Yeah,
Diamond
we're all
company
waiting
for
for
some
you.
reason. And
Cartier?
no, that's the
Wait,
watch.
wait.
Cartier is the watch.
Cartier's a watch.
Yeah, De Beers.
De Beers is the
one
Blood
you are
Diamond. Have you
seeking
had them?
legal liability.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, allegedly are a Blood Diamond company. But if you want me to pitch you on my show, I will. I'll be like, let me make the best blood diamonds that a man can buy a lady.
They make them fake now. Do you know that?
Yeah, they grow them.
A lot of them.
Yeah,
They're
it's like-
growing them now. A lot.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
used to be called cubic
neon
zirconia.
gas or something over like they take a tiny piece of diamond and then they blast it with the gas and it bonds and starts forming diamond.
Isn't that
Then they
cubic
shade it.
zirconia though?
No, it's actual diamond.
So these are real diamonds.
Just grown diamond.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
as
grow
opposed
it
to
in like
making
a
children
chamber or something
climb
with
a
like
volcano.
I think it's neon gas. I'm not
Like
sure. I don't know.
babies in like
I
5
read
years.
an article
bag.
10 years ago and I vaguely
Yeah.
remember something.
Yeah, no, they killed a lot
I've
of
been
people for the diamonds.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I mean, so I hear. Not that company, of course.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
The chair just
the
gave
The
up on
chair
you?
just broke.
Chair just
You're
broke.
just falling apart right and left.
You
here,
see
Tim.
what's going on?
I'm a
here?
little nervous talking to Tim. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to figure out what's going on and how I can help. And I didn't know I was going to be here pleading my case to help keep Timcast.
I think it's like you got a bow with a bunch of holes in it.
Well,
And
I got 10
you're
fingers.
a fan, though. What do you think?
I
Wait,
think.
he starts
if you know
talking.
what
Oh,
And I'm also
shit.
employed.
Really?
oh, I think we
he starts talking
sell it
about
to them.
Adam.
You did
Sell
what?
it or shut it down. One or the other.
One or the other.
Wow.
Are you open to
This
having
guy's trying so
someone
hard.
inside or like
Listen,
not like a CEO, but
I don't know anything about Raymond. I don't know anything about Raymond. Can we give 07s in the chat to Raymond? Raymond is like the adult in the room right now. Dave Landau is like the court jester. I mean that in the very best way. He's like keeping Tim calm and all this stuff. But Raymond is like, Tim, we can do this, Tim. We can do it. Let me help you do it. and he's being so nice about it. And if Tim had like 2 brain cells to rub together in his head, Tim would be like actually listening probably to what Raymond has to say, and he'd be talking to Raymond more, and he'd be asking Raymond more questions. So like, bless this guy. Bless this guy. He's trying so hard.
Someone coming to, clog those holes up for you?
I don't know.
I'll hurt people for money.
I mean, you should. That's something you should think
No,
about.
you won't.
I know I'm nice. Cars can be weapons.
I'm glad.
I just think it's.
I'm glad you put May real quick. I'm glad you put May because I think we can salvage.
I don't think there'll be a show tomorrow.
Well, yeah, sure. We need some time to work it out. We gotta have some meetings, some team meetings, which we should do.
Pizza, maybe some
I don't
pizza.
know. I think likely just this is the last week.
But then you still have your show, though. I mean, in your
Yeah, I got my
morning show. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the components that we have.
Oh
We've got
my
like
God!
we
What
have
an
millions
asshole.
and millions
Tim
in equipment.
Is such
Jesus,
a dick.
yes,
Probably
you do.
close to that.
Yeah, and so it's like if a studio breaks and I
put
can't
a bit of
do
it in
the
my
show,
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, this
What
company
a
is
dick.
dysfunctional.
Yeah.
We make a lot of money. Like, money's good, but it kind of feels like we're spending money to spin our wheels if we've got this much equipment, all these really great cameras. There's like even cameras over here. Which one is that? Is that a red? That's not a red, is it?
No, those are the black magic cameras I brought for
Oh,
the studio.
Blackmagic.
What
Dude,
is
we,
that?
dude, we got a
Other
brand new one
studio.
in the room next over, like in the.
We just
we're
upgraded
ready to go.
we just upgraded our mobile cameras to what,
Those are
A6,
nice ones.
A6s.
FX30 is the same one we use in the studio
FX30s.
right now.
What is the whole deal over there?
This is Richie Jackson's.
I don't know if you can
Okay.
see
The
it.
possible
You can get-
future boonies.
There you go. You can kind of see it in the shot, everyone.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous that it's very gold.
It looks like a furniture store in
It
a
is.
mall
Looks
that's
nice. Look
That-
at
that
that
was-
Liberty. Can you get a
that
camera
was-
shot of
Yeah,
that?
I got a
Oh,
little
yeah.
shot working here. Right now.
Look at
Yeah,
this picture.
yeah, I
That's
see it.
some. That's good
That's
looking.
some
It looks
ugly
like every
ass
house
set.
I've ever been in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah,
That
I
is
think
an ugly
you know. Look,
ass set.
we wanted to launch other shows and make other properties, and some of them do decently well and some don't. But I think the issue is just like this is probably pushing the limit of what I, as a CEO and host, can accomplish on my own. And so that means we bring in external management, which would be a strategic investment, partial buyout, and then you'll end up with another company running everything.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that sound. I don't like it. I think just. I don't know.
And then what happens
I
is
can
Listen
I
to
can lead
Raymond,
people.
Tim.
I've led many
Listen
people.
to
Throw
Raymond.
me. Don't. I'm just
a
saying.
guy in
I
a
got
suit
no choice.
guy in a suit
I wanna
shows
stay
up
here.
and
Let's go.
I just think the cost is too much. I think there's no way around it. We've got to shut everything down, and if we wanted to salvage IRL, we got to get it back down to 2 employees.
Okay.
Are you on the spectrum? And I don't mean that as a negative.
Yes.
Because it means
I
like
would
you.
Yes.
I would believe the answer is no.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you're very, very.
Tim is
like,
absolutely
yeah,
on
like
the-
very
one in the
direct.
ch-
Yeah, my
Yeah.
friend Matt McClory's
Yeah.
I'm not diagnosing anyone, but 1 in the chat if you think Tim is on the spectrum, 2 in the chat if you think Tim is not on the spectrum.
I think that's exasperation, not autism.
Okay. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe.
Because we've not talked about this stuff on the show before.
Oh, you've never done it. Okay.
Yeah, like I've never come on and be like, I think I'm gonna end the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is our first.
I feel
well,
like
you
it's like-
have
it's a
you
blanket
have a couple
term,
times to me.
but
But
it's
been in
like-
some dark holes. Like I said, like
Yeah,
a year ago.
Tim, you're on the
you had like a
spectrum,
whole
Tim.
week of
I'm
where you were
sorry. Like, the
in the down
chat-
and dumps, and everyone was like, "Don't give up to
We
me."
have
That's when
laser
you're talking about
focus.
picking up the rock
The
up the
chat
hill.
doesn't lie.
That was like about at
that's
least
the
a year
first
ago.
one.
You have
Yeah.
laser
Yeah.
focus. It's a compliment. I mean,
Yeah.
my friend
I have
Matt's
the
like
smartest
that. That's
chat
why I'm
on the
wondering.
internet.
Like
Doesn't
maybe it's just
lie.
something
It's-
that, like.
Yeah,
It's not the first time someone's asked me if I was on the spectrum
Yeah.
or whatever, and I was like,
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
and why do you say that? And they're like, well, it's because like you're very focused and
Well, yeah, it's not like,
direct
hey,
and
you're eating
logical.
crayons.
No, but I'm like, is the implication that your average person who's not on the spectrum is incapable of being a CEO, or like you have to be autistic in order to be a successful
No.
business?
I think you have
I
to
don't
be
think there's any
kind
rules
of
in
a
the yoga.
That's not what-
sociopath
no.
at
Oh, yeah.
time. Not
Yeah.
you, but I'm just saying, like a lot of people that are in leadership positions, there is a sociopath kind of narcissism, like a little bit. Otherwise, I don't think that anybody
That is
can be
actually
successful.
true.
I'm a comic. You're a YouTuber. Let's be honest.
That
There's
is
some-
actually true. The most common leadership style is called the dominant style on the DISC profile, which is the primary psychological assessment that I use when I'm working with organizations. The primary, the primary profile that shows up as a successful leader, a successful CEO, is called the dominant style. I also call it the big D style. Now, here's the thing: not all people with the dominant style are narcissists, but all narcissists have the dominant style. Okay, so if you have this particular style, that doesn't mean you're a narcissist. You shouldn't people need people to be that leader. People need people to give structure and orders and to have a vision. Like every psychological profile is necessary in a workplace. You have to have a good blend of all the different styles because they all work together and they balance each other out. But you need someone in that leadership position to be able to do that. So is it true that narcissists do have that sort of tendency? Yes, but most people who have that high D style, they aren't narcissists. They're just effective leaders.
Narcissism in the room, whether we want to admit it.
Oh, this whole show is like,
right. So,
I think people should hear what I have to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
he's complaining on the internet.
we can admit that it's there, but I think
like
that
my passion is that I feel strongly, and I think other people need to hear what I have.
yeah. This whole thing is,
and that's how you built what you built.
We need
successfully
people to push
built
us.
on. You need to
But
listen.
I got to be honest. I don't think it's narcissism if you're right.
No,
Okay.
that's not necessarily.
I mean, yeah, I don't
I'm only half kidding.
No, I got you.
It's like people should hear what I have to say, and they liked it.
Yeah, so clearly.
I was correct.
Yeah, so
It
spot
was
on.
logic, not arrogance.
Yes.
No, but I
a lot of ranting too did well. People love the rant.
But I think like
But anyways,
serial
yeah.
killers
Sorry to
and
cut you
some
off.
CEOs kind of test on the same sociopath levels. It's just very hard to murder a lot of people these days with all the ring cameras.
No, actually, the CEOs are probably bigger. There may be CEOs that are bigger serial killers than serial killers.
Yeah.
If their means of killing is through circuitous methods.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not kidding.
No,
that makes
I
sense.
know you're not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
either.
If you want to
There
get
could-
dark.
Yeah, there may be a CEO who's like, if I introduce this product, we can see 3,000 deaths per year, and they start laughing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are people that actually have those jobs where they have to decide how many people die or do we get the airbags fixed.
Right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a rough job.
Fight Club.
Fight
Remember?
Club is
when he does the
yeah.
equation.
Yep.
If the cost of a lawsuit is greater, if the cost of a lawsuit is less than the cost of the recall, they don't recall.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, and that's just insane. They have to
Yeah.
make that choice. They're like,
Did Tim learn that from Fight Club?
I guess this baby seat's flimsy.
Yep. That's wild, man.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, but somebody's got to do that job. See,
Yeah.
and they're doing their job, so somebody here could make sure a computer works for you.
So like, let me grab a super
killing
chat here real
any
quick so I
babies.
can help you. So Blake says, bro, why do you keep saying you make so much money, but then refuse to hire some people like IT? We have IT people. It's because the answer isn't spending money. Money is never the answer. I've met a lot of people in my day who say things like, if only I had money, I could do X. And I'm like, that is not true for literally any successful person.
Mm-hmm.
Successful people got hired or got their jobs because they were doing something already.
Right. Yeah.
So like my first YouTube video, for the first 3 months of me making YouTube, I was losing money. And I was like, I don't know, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm like kind of bored. Let me record a video. And then recorded some videos. The views started to go up. And I did the last night in Sweden thing. And that was like a few months in, and then I had one big hit. And I was like, oh, I'm in Sweden now. I'm getting a bunch of views. And that generated a bunch of buzz. And then once I got back, I was finally making like $2,000 a month or something like that.
Yeah. Nice.
And I was like, hey, look at this. I'm not losing money anymore. My savings is no longer burning up. And then I was like, let's just make more videos and see what I can do. And I was doing for like, I don't know, like a year. It was probably just one 10-minute video every day at 4 p.m. That was it. That's all it was. And I was probably making like 60, 70,000 a year. And I was like,
Just doing one 10-minute video?
yep,
Nice.
one 10-minute video. And it started to go up. And then I remember off of one 10-minute video, I was in Jersey, I was in Bayonne, and I hit 6 figures. And when I was working at Disney, I was getting paid a bit. They were paying me a lot of money.
What did you do at Disney? Why didn't I know
Well,
this?
so it was Fusion. It was ABC News Univision joint venture.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I was one of their senior talent. And that was a ridiculous company. But so when I left, I'm like, I've got a lot saved. I had a couple $100,000 that I had saved getting paid all this money from this company. I basically saved all my money always. Worked at Vice, saved it all, then went to Fusion, saved it all. And when I left, I was like, okay, so several months, the money's just going down. And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, if I don't turn this around, if I keep if I use this money only right now to live, maybe I can stretch it out for 4 years. You know what I mean? And then try and find ways to make money. If I invest and try and go the media route, I'm burned out in a year because flights, hotels. And then after the Sweden thing, I was net positive like $2,000 every month. And then I think it was about a year after that, I looked, it was back when when full screen was around, and they showed the daily amount of revenue every day. And I saw that it was like $50 a day. And I was like, holy crap, I'm getting $50 a day.
Yeah.
As long as I don't spend $50 a day, I'm making money. And I just did it because I wanted to do it. And then what happened was a lot of people were creating secondary channels in case they got the first one banned, which is stupid because it still breaks the rules.
Yeah.
So I made Timcast News. YouTube chose the name too. Like,
Oh yeah.
well, so I had a Google Plus page or something, and then it turned it into I don't know. That's why YouTube.com/Timcast says Tim Pool, and YouTube.com/Timcast News says Timcast.
Right. Your news is your 4 p.m. and your pool is your 1 and 9.
The pool was the 4 p.m.
But you don't do
pool's
the
the
news
4 p.m.
anymore, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do the morning show.
Oh, right.
Oh, no, you mean
Culture
like
war, right?
you mean like going out in the ground?
Correct.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's too.
Okay,
People
yeah.
were screaming in my face. Like people would find the live stream and run up and start dancing and being like, "Look at me!" And they'd like, "Look, I'm on Twitter." And
Oh, it sucks.
yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But so I created a secondary channel, and then I was like, maybe I'll just play like a Hearthstone. Like I like Hearthstone. I'll play Hearthstone videos, and I made a video, got like 3,000 views, and then I was like, nah, that was. Oh, I know. I'm gonna make fun of Don Lemon. So I made a video making fun of Don Lemon, and it got a few thousand views. And it was fun because he said the Malaysian airline may have been swallowed by a black hole.
Which, as we know today, by that one
Lizzo.
that one guy on Twitter, maybe might have been with the little swirkling.
That's right. Yeah.
You
black
never
hole.
know.
And so then
Is that true?
I don't know. No, it's not.
Nah, that was
But
up
so,
with the
uh,
VHS
Didn't they
thing.
find it?
they found parts.
Yeah, I thought they found parts of
Okay.
it. That's the thing when something goes missing, you never find the whole thing.
That's right.
That's even if it's like a kid.
Yeah,
Jeez.
true.
Stop.
Dark today, huh?
I don't know why I said that. Look, you just need enough for closure is all I'm saying.
Right. Like a shirt
Right, like a shirt.
or a fuselage.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, I just decided I'll make a couple extra clips. There are a few stories I saw today that I thought were fun, but I didn't have enough to actually make a full thing on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like within like a week, I was getting 50 to 100,000 on each of them, and I was like, holy
Dang, that's a jump.
crap.
That's nuts.
And so I was like, I gotta make more of
On
these.
each video?
50 to 100,000 views.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish it.
I was gonna say on a video. I'm like,
No,
what?
no.
I'd
And
join
I-
an OnlyFans.
No, they were
with
like, it
ping
was like
pong
100,
balls
200
for
bucks. And then I was like, yo, this is wild.
What happened?
And so I started making 5 videos on my second channel and 1 on the main channel. And I was getting like, holy crap, by the beginning of maybe like 2019 or whatever was when I not became a millionaire, but when the amount of money I made for the month officially hit, if I keep doing this, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was wild. And then Joe Rogan calls me out, invites me on his show. And then
Is
from
he a
there,
podcaster?
he might be.
Okay.
I thought you were serious for a second there.
No, dude.
Hey, I may ask a question in that aspect. Was your first video the one you talked about the Twitter people, or was it the first video that when you talked about war and you covering war all the time?
What do you mean? First video with
You
what?
had 2 Joe Rogan videos.
At the
Maybe 3.
time?
But the first one I seen
there's
was
4 now.
You were
I'm
talking
sure.
about
have been-
Ghana and a
might be-
bunch
might
of
be
war
3.
and stuff going on. I never seen the Twitter one when I first started watching.
Well, I
it.
first
just
heard
heard
you
the
in the
Jay
Wall
Gotti one was
Street
the one.
thing. That's
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
first
First
heard
was Vi-
you, but that was
Vijay?
pre-Rogan.
Yeah.
Oh, way pre-Rogan. That
Yeah.
was before Vice.
Yeah.
And then after Wall Street, I did a year of just like covering protests and doing social media.
Yeah, I forget what
Then I
year
joined
it was.
Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the verge. So I had 3 deals set up. It was Vice, Google, and Al Jazeera.
Gotcha.
And then,
Oh, you were Al Jazeera.
well, so they offered me social media manager.
Is that where they film Al Jazeera?
No, that's
like it.
that's
I
more
want
Persian,
Ian.
I think.
Yeah, that is You know
Where's
what? It is
Ian?
Persian.
I want Ian.
It comes with a white BMW.
Is that what they drive?
Yes, it is.
All right. Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway,
But yeah.
No offense to Persian. It's a nice car.
no, yeah,
You
yeah.
just don't all
I don't.
have to
I'm not
have
insulting
one.
Persians. It does look like it looks
No,
like
It
Persian.
looks fancy.
It looks like what you see in like an Iranian like consulate.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like you definitely, a lady would be sitting there well draped.
Yeah, well, not a consulate. It'd be a man well draped,
Oh, that's true.
wearing white.
Yeah.
I just got my slime.
I
all
think
over my
actually, I'm
microphone.
not sure about Iran. Maybe
I don't know.
Saudi
I've,
Arabia.
I've never been.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've
Anyway,
heard
long story
terrible
short, IRL was an
A
accident.
slime
Here we are.
casualty.
It grew and grew and grew. It's a heavy lift. Requires a lot of work.
We
yeah, I
should
just
be getting
think,
close to
you know,
Ian.
Maybe it's too much.
We're almost there.
Maybe I do the morning
We're
show.
doing.
and
We
don't
watched
have to
the
worry
whole
about it.
thing on my
That's
channel.
crazy. I
We
mean, I
don't
remember I
cheat.
watched you probably 2018, 2019 when you were doing those single videos by yourself.
Yeah.
And then I think I like messaged you saying the sound was messed up. So people in the chat, I've been there before. And then I think you responded to me and said, yeah, come and fly out. I flew out. I fixed it one time. Didn't take the job at first. Came back later on, then eventually came on the
Yeah.
team. So I never thought I'd be here, especially seeing this happen right now, which is crazy. So
I mean, you
Wow.
built it all. Do you want to really get rid of it?
I mean,
I shouldn't say that. Streamline it.
so that's like imagine if Sisyphus pushed a snowball up a hill. Eventually, the snowball's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and now he's holding this gigantic boulder and he's pushing it more.
If you believe in science.
And it's like, hey, you've got this massive boulder. You sure you want to just let it roll down the hill? And it's like, well,
it hurts.
I don't know. Yeah, it hurts.
I'm struggling with this thing.
I'd like to get out of the way before it falls on me. I get that, but it seems like you're profitable. Like,
well,
very
yeah, I mean,
profitable.
Very.
Yeah.
So that's how we have ancillary investment.
Right.
Right. That's how we're doing these other shows.
So you like,
but I
doing-
can't manage them, and I can't succeed unless they have a CEO managing them.
Okay, so you need someone
And
there.
so it's like I'm not going to be able to do IRL, the morning show, and manage outside investments. And so at this point, it's kind of like
You need a bad guy.
that's what I was saying.
Duh.
I mean, you do. You just
one
live
What
option
I
in
is
said
it.
from the
selling,
beginning.
sell the show to somebody. We've talked about it before. It's like, yeah, but then what happens? Like, what are the requirements of a sale? What does that mean for the show? Maybe there's someone we know and trust and we're comfortable with running it and operating it. I don't know. Or it's just like the question of keeping everything going is, do I have an obligation to everyone else?
I mean, I'd ask your fans.
Well,
hang
on. Tim doesn't have an obligation to anyone. He has no obligation to anyone. But there are a lot of people who believe in Tim, who work for Tim right now, who are learning while Tim is live on the internet that they're probably losing their jobs. And while Tim doesn't have an obligation to be nice to them, and you know what? Shitty bosses exist all the time. It's the way of the world. I do think it's just a touch irresponsible to announce to how many people did he says he has working for him, like 30 people or something like that. I think it's a touch irresponsible to announce live on the internet they're losing their job. There are probably people that picked up and moved across the country to work for Tim. There are probably people who took shitty salaries to work for Tim. And he can't even do them the respect of having a fully thought through decision when it could impact their job. Like, bro, I mean, again, he doesn't have any obligation to anyone, but there's being an adult and there's being a fucking whining teenager. And no, contrary to popular belief, there's some, like, I've never been on Timcast. I never wanted to go on Timcast. I'm good. Like, I really don't want to be involved in this world at all. I just watch it from afar every once in a while. But no, I've never talked to Tim. I've never been on Timcast. Anyone who thinks I have is wrong because I've never talked to him.
People
But no.
more for the viewers. You have more obligation to the viewers than you do have anyone working here, in my own opinion.
No,
But it
true.
is
I
your
agree.
life.
You know,
Right.
yeah.
So it's a
right,
question
and,
of-
they're,
And if you're not
and I don't
living
care.
your
You
life
should-
right now, sorry,
right.
go ahead.
No, he's right. I was going to say more to the fans than anyone else, but you are your own person. You should.
Yeah,
do
this
fuck-
is
What-
my
what is-
own
what is the-
Mandela
what are-
effect.
what are we here
Everyone
to
thinks
do
I've
on
been
this
on
earth?
Timcast when I never have.
This is
Be happy.
Dance.
Stop commies.
well, if the answer was be happy, then I quit everything and I go sell lemonade.
I got
on
it.
a
I got
highway.
it to plant the tree that others can see a shade of.
Well, that's
To
a good
make a
answer.
better
I mean,
future,
Is it
right?
duty to others for the success
have
of
been
Someone's
someone's
gonna
asked.
chop down your tree.
I have been asked. I've been asked multiple times by multiple different people. The answer is no. I don't want to. I don't think it's a good use of my time. I don't think I'd be able to teach anyone. I don't think I'd be able to highlight my content. I think Tim is intimidated by me and he'd start a fight with me. And I think it would just be me being called fat and ugly on the internet for several hours. And I don't think it would benefit me at all. So I have been asked. I've said no. I don't want to. Like, no offense, but no.
Oh, they can.
Just
Like,
telling you.
no, yeah.
Steal your lemons.
I thought it was an apple tree,
Someone's gonna kick
Steal
over
your
your
apples.
lemonade stand.
and there are deer.
They're gonna get
every
their
day down
lemonade
at the
from
bottom of
China.
the-
Yeah.
You're gonna be priced out.
That's
The meaning of-
this is
meaning of
another
life
thing
is
people don't
tough
realize.
answer. Meaning
The
of life.
Because Adam...
you want to learn about evil.
Adam is bitter about me because Adam threw me under the bus to make money and I didn't put up with that shit and I called him out on it. And then Adam got pissed off because Adam told me that Tim slept with Lydia like a long ass time ago. And I kept that shit quiet for 2 years and I didn't say anything. And then people kept saying that I had told everyone when it wasn't actually me that told everyone. It was Mike Harlow that told everyone because Mike Harlow was in the room at the same time. But I didn't tell anyone. That was someone else. And I kept that shit quiet for years. But Adam and his fucking friends started a rumor that I told everyone when I didn't. And so I was like, you know what? You're going to go around the internet saying I did shit I didn't do. I'm going to make a video on the internet about how Tim fucked Lydia because I don't have any loyalty to Tim either. And so Adam was kind of bitter about that because I kind of preempt Adam's announcement of Tim fucking Lydia. So, you know, there's history there. I don't actually care. Like, I haven't thought about Adam in years, honestly. I hope he's doing all right. I don't know. But that's why.
You just get fame.
No.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to see the evil when you're closer to the ground. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to the average person who just lives their life. But wow, the higher you climb, the more evil. So it's, you know, when you're
true.
close to Earth and you're on the ground, evil overlooks you because you don't matter at all. Sometimes evil will target an innocent person, just kill them in the street, things like that, right? But for the most part, there are a lot of people who you may encounter a demon, I mean figuratively, on the street, and they'll say nice things to you and they'll pass you by. And they say but once you're climbing atop the tower and the demons start seeing you and screaming like banshees, throwing knives at you and tearing you down. It's pretty wild.
It's a good analogy.
Well, that's, you know, I mean, and I've heard that too. I think it's Denzel Washington AI, but I mean, it is true that it's like once you hit to a certain point, there's a reason why somebody's going after you. It's because they want something. I mean, obviously.
So, or they just hate you and they're disgusting people.
Which are a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but that's what sucks about any level of fame. And it's like they will come after you and they do hate you.
Yep.
And you just kind of have to one day go, I don't really care.
That's
but
very
there's part
true.
of
That's
you
good
that
advice.
always will a little. Like there's no human being.
But
You
this
know
is not
what?
the evil
I
that I'm
never
talking
finished
about.
it.
No.
It's still sitting
I'm not talking
downstairs
about
on the
someone
coffee
going
steal
table
from
like
you,
years
take from
later.
you,
I've
and,
never
like,
finished
kill
it. I
you,
keep
basically.
thinking about
backstabbing
ripping it
too,
apart
as
and
well.
doing
You
something
mentioned
else
earlier
with it.
today.
Yeah, trying to murder you.
Yeah,
You know,
literally.
yeah. Things like that. That's just
And I
like,
apologized for that.
but we've been over this and I forgave you, so you're
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so the question then is like, if we are here just in service to others, then I need to find a way to keep doing some form of Timcast show that people think is important and want to keep watching.
Yes.
And I can't have my head explode doing it, so
No.
likely that means this show, which is an accident, has reached its culmination.
And it's odd though, because the way you explain it is everything is quality over quantity, but we're now dealing with an algorithm, like you said, where a lot of it is just quantity.
It's legit pure quantity right now.
And that's what sucks.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? You're just doing like the other day you said you're trying to do like what, 12 shows, 15 shows a week or something crazy like that?
Got it. It was always this way. And so I'll let everybody in the secret.
It's a big ass bubble.
I remember when I first started the morning shows and my views were skyrocketing and the money was skyrocketing. And there were other people being like, how is Tim Pool doing this? How is he getting so much? And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything to anybody, but you're making one video a week. I'm doing 6 per day, every day, 7 days a week with no days off.
You did 3 between 7 and 8, or 6 and 7 every day. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6:15 and 6:30.
And is that to just capture?
Here is what I will give to Tim, and what I do think that Tim deserves credit for. Tim has a fucking work ethic. What Tim has been doing for years is extremely difficult. To get up every single day and make that many videos about that many topics, just consistently, it's not even about like the difficulty level of the analysis he's doing, because I think there are people who do better analysis than Tim, but the quantity that Tim pushes out consistently every single day, that's fucking impressive. And he's been doing it a long time, and he should get credit for that because, you know, most people can't do what Tim is doing.
The algorithm, right?
No, that was just, it was...
or because it was just you were doing it because you liked it.
I had the time to do it. I had the energy to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But then what I discovered is the front page of YouTube is basically, it's a raffle ticket, cage.
Sure.
You spin it around and you stick your hand and you grab a ticket. If I'm doing 6 per day, 7 days a week, and you're doing 1 per week, guess what? Every time someone sticks their hand in, they're pulling out a Timcast video. Yeah. So if you watch one of my videos and then click refresh, guess what? There's 6 more per day. Yes. And so there's 10 slots on the front page. You're going to see Timcast more often. I'm going to get more clicks. I'm going to get more views. The more views I get, the more I'm going to get recommended. I'm going to beat all of you out.
Yeah.
It's just a numbers game. Right now, the channels that are doing the big numbers are just going nuts on shorts. And YouTube has basically...
Shorts suck.
So what are the shorts that people are
Shorts
producing
suck
now
so
that really do
bad.
work? Find a viral video and then say, this is crazy. And then play the viral video.
I
We've done a couple of those.
Reaction to songs.
For a short, for a 1 minute.
Oh, no.
No, like,
for
yeah,
the
they
1
gotta
minute
catch your
shorts.
attention. Can you believe this happened?
Yeah, it's just,
To be honest, the funny thing is,
it's a pull over and you're like, what?
But the host reaction really does make a video work, like make the short work.
Sure.
So looking at, like when we've done shorts, if we play a viral clip and just the viral clip, nothing. If I were to say, guys, watch this, people will say, okay. It's kind of wild how that works with shorts. But then like the content is becoming super lowbrow.
It's
But
awful.
that's how you generate
So
subscribers.
society,
That's how you do it. Right. Agreed.
I mean,
like I said, I know exactly the type of content I need to do to grow the channel. I know exactly the type of content I need to do to get clicks. I know exactly what I need to do. I refuse to do it because it sucks. And I want my audience to be better than that. We're going for quantity over quality.
Here, I'll tell you another big problem with
strike that.
With
Strike
this.
that. Reverse it. Strike that. Reverse it. It's 1 a.m. We're going for quality over quantity. Strike that. Reverse it. Never mind.
Another straw on the camel's back is not just the business elements, but looking at the content
It's
that's
1
being
a.m.
produced in this space probably suggests all the more reason why we should keep going, but also massively makes me want to get as far away from it as possible. Because I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. People are making fake videos now, and YouTube's promoting them.
Yeah.
Stricken
And I wonder if it's
record.
intentional. So, like, there are videos where
Ian,
person A
save
and
us,
person
Ian.
B left and right, and it's a clip from 3 years ago and a clip from a year ago, and they're edited together to make it look like they're arguing.
I've seen one of those. I saw one of those.
Is that
I
true?
saw
They're
one of
doing
those.
that shit stuff. I heard that.
I don't know.
I mean,
I went on the front page of YouTube and I saw 2 different ones.
Yeah,
Really?
And it was
That was
like,
fun.
someone made a video about me using a clip of me from 3 years ago. Someone made a clip of me claiming that Jen Kuger and I were fighting. And I was like, we're not fighting. What? Like, we're talking with Jen about coming on the show, but like, how is there this video from yesterday where it's like Tim Pool fighting Jen Kuger? I'm like, I haven't talked to the guy in like a year, 2 years since he was here.
Well, if you look at like you,
We're almost at Ian.
Rogan,
We're almost
the
there.
cottage industry that has come of hate for Segura, stuff like that. There's a whole thing now that just exists to hate the people that are
the
actually
criticism
successful.
Well, Sam Cedar's a great example of that.
Yeah,
Like, I'm pretty worried about him
yeah,
actually.
he's the one that
because-
always wanted to debate Crowder when I was on the show.
Yeah, and then he did that stunned
When he
butt
brought
switch.
in that other guy from.
I'm worried about him because if we don't do the show, I don't know how he's going to feed his family.
well, the other day I was watching. It was maybe 3 weeks ago.
We gotta
Evan
get-
Preach. They're a big YouTube show. And
Yeah.
We got to get Autumn to get Sam Cedar to start covering my content if Tim actually quits.
know him. But they did a clip of Tim talking about dating from 5 years ago.
It was forever ago. It was like 4 years old. That's what I was talking about.
Old school, like, you know, you had the things in the background, the blue and red,
The blue and black,
blue and black
little
yeah,
studio
but
waffle.
they did a whole video on that talking about that's how you were today, and everyone in the comments like, what do you guys fuck?
I was
what do you
disappointed.
effing-
It's all fake.
Like, what do you? Why would you pull up a 5-year comment?
Yeah.
Because
Back in the day.
because
People
the whole,
did that
like,
to me too.
and
People did that to me too. They took videos that like I made in 2020 when I was still like the Democrat who left the Democratic Party after I went to a Trump rally. Like, people have been doing this to me for months. They're taking interviews that I did in 2020 where I was like, Democrats suck and Trump is awesome. Okay, I never quite did that. But like they're taking those interviews and they're like putting them out today as though they're new videos. They're like, look guys, another Democrat left the Democratic Party after going through a Trump rally. And I comment on them and I'm like, you assholes, that was 4 years ago and I'm not even voting for Trump because I am so much further right than Trump is now. It's ridiculous. I don't co-sign anything Trump is doing. I don't like Trump supporting Israel. I don't like Trump going to war with Iran. I don't like Trump increasing immigration. I think Trump has run one of the most horrible presidential campaigns in history. Like, he has lost my vote. He has not earned it. He does nothing about the things I care about. And you're putting out videos saying, Carlin's the new Democrat that left the Democratic Party. Fuck you guys. I did that 4 years ago. I have grown since then. Yeah. See, I've been seeing, like, it's so, and every time I catch someone doing this, I'm like, I'm not even voting for Trump anymore. And you know, the reason that I'm not voting for Trump is because of people like you that put out videos of me using my story and my image saying, I'm a Democrat that left the left. No, I did that 4 years ago. And then I saw how much bullshit the conservative right was shilling out there. And I was like, nah, I don't want to be part of that either. I'm out.
YouTube's promoting this heavily.
Yep.
You like, if you go to the podcast section, I mean, look, and it's not just me. It's like I see people making fake videos about David Pakman, fake video, like,
Yeah, it's everyone.
and I'm just like, damn, dude, a guy with 150,000 subs has built his subs off being like, if I can't find the rage, make the rage. Yeah. But this is
that's
the
what it
nature of business. If you, I talked about this with the death of media and why Huffington Post beats out, say, the New York Times. The Huffington Post, when I worked at Vice, I was explaining this to people, why media was dying, and it's been dying consistently. If you go to an investor, say, I want to launch an investigative journalism outlet, and we're going to tell the people the truth. The investor says, okay, what do you need? He says, I'm going to need $350,000 a year for just 2 investigative journalists and their budget. And he's going to say, okay, and what do I get at the end of that? Well, we don't know.
For the record, I do undercover journalism at the cost of about $3,000 per story. That cost includes my research. That cost includes my travel. That cost includes the time I spend doing the story. I've gone undercover at multiple far left events. I recorded the former president of the American Library Association saying libraries should be sites of Marxist organizing. It was all over the fucking conservative media. I did that for about $3,000. So I'm just saying there are ways to do this stuff that are not $350,000.
We could investigate for a year and find nothing.
And if you want to support the work I'm doing, please feel free to send in a super chat or become a member of my channel and come over here and I'll show you the real shit.
Okay, well, let's say you do find something.
Hey,
well, I mean,
thanks,
if we're
Fly
able
Guy.
to, if it hits and people care about the story, maybe we can make our money back. And they're going to go, uh-huh. Then Huffington Post walks in and says, you give me $350,000, I'm going to write a bunch of stories about how cops are racist, and I'm going to make $1 million in a month.
I'll make it work.
And he's like,
Yeah.
I'll write you a check tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's happening now. So if you're a podcaster and you're going like, I want to produce legit, honest commentary. Well, I got bad news for you. Some days are slow news. But don't worry, if you have no scruples, all you got to do is pull a clip from Cenk Uygur from 10 years ago and make the video claiming it was today.
Yeah, yeah.
And then people are going to watch it. And there you go. Congratulations.
Well, we do live in such a time of parody, though. Like, we did a thing last week of the men of voting for Kamala after that commercial.
Yeah.
And, like, mine's,
I
Alex
see that.
Stein.
It's a good one. It was funny.
Thank you. I
The real
appreciate
thing
it.
wasn't a parody? Wow.
Yeah.
You're
I know.
super gay. I love
Oh,
it.
yeah. Well, you have Alex Stein as an Indian, and then I'm literally a leather man. So, and then people are commenting, like, these aren't real men. People
So funny, dude.
taking it completely seriously.
But that's fine.
No, it's fine that it's like, it's funny that it tricks some people.
Well, I'm
I mean,
glad you
clearly
did,
they didn't watch
Jackson.
the
It's not
end,
supposed
and if they did, they're the dumbest
shouldn't
people.
supposed
Oh,
to.
yeah, it shouldn't trick you. I'm sorry. But, I mean, the first one did seem like a troll when the guy's, sitting cross-legged at the end
Oh, that
of a
dude?
truck and just being like, going, hey,
Ian.
like,
Ian,
I'm a rancher.
Ian.
Yeah, and you're like, no, this isn't good.
We're almost there, guys.
Yeah, but even in a parody that you're doing it deliberately, some people do take that as real news. Like, it's kind of shocking. How dumb.
Yeah.
I don't want to say dumb. That's an easy thing to say. But people are gullible.
It's
and
true.
It's because
True.
things are so crazy right now. I think it is kind of hard to tell what's real and what's fake.
Maybe it's maybe like Ryan was saying earlier, good times make weak men. And so we have a whole bunch of gullible fools who grew up believing everything they were told, and
You
gullible's written on
hired
the
weak
ceiling right there
men,
above Raymond.
Tim.
I was gonna look over.
Did you
but I
really
know.
just like
Because I thought it was a setup, and I was like, no, it's not a
I got
setup.
on
Maybe it is
camera.
a setup.
Nope.
Like,
I got on.
fucking Tim. But, yeah. Anyways.
It says Mussolini. Weird.
Well, and that's also not,
it's
maybe
a
not,
compliment about you?
I'm not looking anymore.
He's looking again.
Well, you looked already. You know there's nothing
something else?
I barely looked. I did like a half F you like last time. Half F.
like when Trump looked at the eclipse.
yeah.
90% of the time I would have looked over, but I just knew.
But maybe it's not gullible, weak times just the you need to find someone, you need to maybe I don't know what you need to find, but just get some old school Gen X people who worked hard their whole lives.
Nah,
Or millennials, they've done the same thing too. There's some getting Gen Zs.
I think I get a Class A. I do the morning show and drive around. And then I work normal hours like everybody else.
Yeah.
Make a morning show more robust because I don't have to worry about all the extraneous activities.
Yeah.
Aren't we living in kind of hard, soft times
A little bit. Kind
when
of.
you break it
Well,
down?
That you may
it's,
say
it's so Strawsaw generational theory is that we are entering the hard time.
Okay.
And so things are getting increasingly more difficult because
Okay.
I got to give a shout out to Dickie Barrett again, but I have to issue a correction actually, because I got the lyrics wrong when I explained the lyrics to the impression that I get. It's I'm not a coward. I've just never been tested. I'd like to think that if I was, I would pass. Look at the tested and think there, but for the grace go I. Might be a coward. I'm afraid of what I might find out. This song's from 1997, and Dickie wrote it about how his generation experienced no hard times.
Yeah.
That the generation before had Vietnam and these great crises, and they grew up in the 90s. Like they were reaching adulthood late 80s into the 90s, and they're just like everything's great. It's a golden age, and that's what he's saying. Better not, I better knock on wood because I know people who have. He was saying, knock on wood because if you're calling for this challenge, it may come to you. But those good times led to the millennial generation being a particularly weak and fractured generation, which is resulting in failed policy, crime waves. really great example is I predicted Bud Light when the Bud Light thing happened. It happened and we all saw it. I predicted that it was going to turn out to be some millennial woman who had recently gotten promoted to the position and then decided to turn the company gay. And that's exactly what it was. When the Gen Xer or the Boomer, who had been running marketing and all the frat bros and everybody loved Bud Light, as soon as they walked out and they brought in the millennial woman, she was like, we want Dylan Mulvaney, and then nuked the brand.
Oh, yeah.
It's gone.
From what I could tell, it did very bad.
It did.
Yeah, people are not a fan of her.
Nobody still likes it. I mean, it's still like,
Bud Light's still done.
yeah. None of us men really care anymore about Bud
Well,
Light.
they brought on Shane to try to revamp the image.
That didn't change anyone's. That didn't change
And
anyone's
Rogan and Shane were chugging Bud Lights on
and
the
UFC
show.
too. Didn't UFC do a thing? Yeah.
And it's like, my attitude there was take it and claim victory, say we win.
Yes.
And nobody wanted
did
to
win. Take it back.
but nobody wanted to.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was like, dude, who cares? It's beer. And I was like, you guys got to be on Rogan's side on this one because he's reaching regular people.
Yep.
But a lot of conservatives didn't want to do it. But,
If I was in recovering Elkie, I'd do it just because I liked it.
if I was interested in piss water, I'd consider it.
It is kind of
Yeah.
crappy. Very crappy.
Yeah, it's what you buy
It's
when
not
you're
no IPA.
underage. Once you can afford something better than Natty Ice.
I grew up in
Right, it's like
Oh, yeah, me too.
14, 15,
When-
16.
Dude, those
Well,
were
I
the
wasn't drinking
days.
I
that.
wasn't drinking when I was younger.
But when you're going to college parties, it's natty light or whatever.
Natty Ice,
Natural
same
Light
thing.
was
Natural Light.
awful.
Natty
Ice.
Ice.
It's called Natapult, guys.
It doesn't matter. It gets you
Natapult.
drunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
it's
the whole
5.9 and it's shit beer, but it's 5.9.
Oh, yeah,
for
it's
shit
terrible.
beer.
Yeah. It's like the beast. You're
Yeah.
like, wait, I get 30 things that
Yeah.
are terrible instead of 24?
I remember the first time my buddy brought delirium over, and it's like the
God.
opposite.
Oh,
Yes.
that Belgian beer?
Oh, I don't know
It's
delirium.
10%.
Yeah.
10%.
That is. Yeah.
I think it's 10%. Is it more than that?
As a youngin'.
High, dude. I remember-
Tim thinks that delirium is like the pinnacle of beer. I mean, delirium's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind delirium. It's a good kind of like intro Belgian, but Tim, in addition to Tim needing to hire someone to run his business, Tim needs to hire someone to teach him about beer. That is also not going to be me, by the way.
It's
I
wild.
loved
It's
it.
called delirium, guys.
Yeah.
Delirium.
The name's
premise.
so
wild.
Wasn't the artist
Okay.
of the bottle the same one that did...
The delirium is not the highest alcohol content beer. Tim has a bunch of hipsters working for him, and they think delirium is the highest alcohol. Bro. Young people these days, they know nothing. They know nothing. They need a mentor.
Fear and Loathing and a lot of
Oh,
Hunter
on the
S's work?
outside? Yeah, I think you might be right. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, it
A
was
little bit of lore.
It was definitely meant to mess you up. It worked every time.
Yeah.
Are we
And
doing
then I was
super
like,
chats tonight?
We'll grab some super chats, I guess.
Just I figured I'd ask
Ian.
because
There's a lot of them.
Ian.
There's too many. I can't read them
Well,
all.
everyone's going to tell you how
Ian.
much they love you and hope that you can work it out in your brain and all that good stuff.
Commander Kronk says, Tim, I really don't have the money to chat, but I'm going to. Please don't give up. You are one of the few people I trust in news. The world needs you. Well, so the idea is I would do the morning show. So one of the challenges is that I'm sitting here going, if I did one show and got 150,000, like on the audio side, we get about 100 on IRL and like 50 on the morning show.
Like Spotify?
Yeah, iTunes, Spotify. When we've done no promotion for it, so we've recently brought on someone to do audio and start getting promotion because we're like, if we're the biggest on YouTube, we should certainly, but we haven't promoted anything, so nobody knows we're there. But I'm like,
It makes sense.
if I did one show and got 150K, and we're like, what is this?
Oh, here we go.
Ian's here. Welcome, Ian.
Ian.
Hey, what's up,
Come
dude?
on,
He must have
Ian.
just turned in and heard what's going on,
man.
Were you sleeping the whole time?
Okay.
Dave.
Michael Lando.
Highway to heaven.
You need a microphone, Ian.
My brother's name is Michael, though, so that was...
Oh, he looks awful.
Yeah.
Did Ian
Are you
just
asleep?
wake up?
I was. I thought Hannah Claire and Seamus were going to be here, so I was like, well, I guess it's a full
So you're
house.
saying
I'll take
some
the night
people
off.
half-ass it?
Dude, I was having a dream that I was playing music with Nick Fuentes, man. The song was
going
like,
on?
"Hey, do you know who I am?"
We can ignore
I just
Matt
woke up,
Walsh.
but
Ian's worried he's
it was
gonna
Ignore
good.
Matt
Last one.
Walsh.
I was dreaming of
I
this
got it,
song
man.
with Fuentes, and he was great.
Yeah.
And then I logged on. And I was like, I'm quitting the show, and I'm like, no, we gotta just change the format. We gotta play
For some
music.
reason, I
now."
just
We
confused
gotta
Nick
play
Fuentes
music.
with
I don't know
Nicholas
that that's the
Shane.
way we
Fucking
do it.
jam, dude. How you guys doing?
Well, so we're doing
Great to
super
see you,
chats,
dude.
Good to see
and
you,
my
man.
point is, if I do one
Did
show
Ian just do a line of coke?
and it consolidates viewership, gets more reach, and allows me to focus better, then maybe that's
You
a
know,
better way to go about doing
I've been
it.
thinking we got such a good opportunity with just to 8 p.m. and us. We could do life-changing. Like I'm going to go to North Carolina and help with cleanup. A friend of mine's doing cleanup stuff, like good humanitarian stuff.
There's a
We
lot
could
of
be
bodies, yeah.
playing music. We could be doing all sorts. Like we got 8 p.m.
You're such a
there's
bright
looks
lady. And
different.
Well, it was like
50,000
it got
people.
Andy Kramer vibes.
Yeah.
It is Kramer vibes.
Is he on drugs?
but he's bringing light to it.
Needs
So
Danny
we're-
Masterson.
So you're thinking that
One in the chat if Ian is on drugs. 2 in the chat if Ian is not on drugs. I need other opinions here. 1 if Ian is on drugs. 2 if Ian is not on drugs.
it's
That's a
just
little dark.
the 8 p.m.
I can't
David
help
Dark
it.
all the
That's
time.
all I do. I don't know if you've met me.
Are you? I'm sorry that
Yeah,
I'm
I know you're
obsessed
good,
with
man.
what's going on.
No,
No, we love
So
it. We
what
love
you-
that you came up.
You're saying the 8
do.
p.m. 8 to 10 politics format is like burning out? Is that what you guys are feeling? Is that what you're talking about?
No, no.
he's feeling
The
it more.
issue is
It's a whole thing.
like the studio broke.
What happened?
The studio broke. I don't know. It's been a cascade failure on the studio, and it's like it's not just about that. It's that for any project, unless I am in charge of it to the T, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, micromanagement. It's very centralized. So
Well,
you
so
can either
we
like
can't-
let go and have all these different managers try and run all the different.
Doesn't work.
we don't have all
departments
these
and-
managers though.
We've attempted management. The same thing happens. It stops working.
Some people will hire, like Elon hired a CEO to run Twitter, and he's just like, look, if you mess it up, you're out. But in the meantime, I'm the owner. I make all the final decisions, but you're going to run everything. I don't have time for this. And then he'll come in and just do whatever he wants whenever he
Oh,
wants.
hey,
but
look
he
at
lets
this.
the owner-
Matt, I just heard this. Matt Christensen and Blonde, they quit last night.
What's that?
He had a live stream that he would do. Matt Christensen's a YouTuber. and-
Yeah, I've heard the name.
yeah.
But
So
they
I guess
quit
he
their
shut it down.
show?
I mean, look, I'm saying I can just do my morning show and not have to worry about anything else, and then I can get the job done.
Yeah.
Trying to do 2 shows in one day is a diminishing return with burning the candle at both ends.
God, yeah, dude. We could do like, dude, we could play games at 8. We could do like 8
No,
to fucking video.
if you want to do it for free,
We could play music. Well, the thing is, there's 50,000 people that are going to come watch no matter what.
60 right now.
Yeah. Like if you do
That's
some,
not true, dude.
from 8, I mean,
We're not gonna
not
turn
anything. I'm not taking a crap or something like that, but I'm talking
Bro,
about
if we
quality
when,
content.
when we did music on Fridays, and if we do, the viewership will drop from 60 to 30.
Yeah, they like hearing the news. People like
Well, they're
hearing
here
the
for a news show.
Nobody sticks around for Gem Night.
Like half of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then some people will be
That's
like,
fun,
I'm not
though,
here for
and
this.
it's
and
still
all.
a big crowd.
Yeah, and we could change
But
the
you're right.
format.
They are here for the
Well,
news.
and
They are
again,
here for.
it's like
everyone.
it's like if you want to play music with your friends on the internet, and you can get 30,000 people watching you play music on the internet with your friends, even if you have 60,000 on a night when you're doing the news, 30,000 people is still a lot of fucking people. Everyone knows that, right? And again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Tim is ungrateful. I would do something very extreme. I don't know what that extreme thing would be. I would give something very, very extreme. For 30,000 people to watch one episode of my Socialism Saturday streams where I'm teaching what real radical revolutionary socialists are doing using their own training videos, I would give something extreme for one 30,000 viewer audience of Socialism Saturday. I mean, come on. And Tim is like, only 30,000 people wanted to watch me playing music with my friends. That's ungrateful. That's just ungrateful. Because if you're not I guess you don't need to be grateful, but you're going to live a long and miserable life where you don't have people who support you, you don't have people who love you, you don't have people who give a flying fuck what you're doing, because eventually people are going to lose interest when they're not appreciated.
You could write songs about the
circle
news.
Group,
And like,
talking.
because what would happen is
Yeah,
if you change
boo
the format,
fucking who,
you lose
Timmy?
half the crowd, but then you'd
Boo
slowly start to
fucking
build a new
who?
crowd.
And you're only here for Tim. Like
I
like
would
me and you
vote
guys
for
aren't-
Donald
aren't,
Trump.
we don't sell tickets.
I know.
Yes.
I don't want to.
I would lower myself to change my plans of not voting at all and feeling really satisfied in that decision. I would vote for Donald Trump to get 30,000 people to show up to one fucking Socialism Saturday. That is a deal I would make. Carlin, do you think maybe Tim is saying all this because he is trying to start drama to build up his channel before the? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's completely possible, and I guess we'll know in the next couple of days if that's what he's doing. I mean, listen, man, I've been through what Tim is going through. I'm going to try to give Tim the benefit of the doubt. I've certainly done streams on this channel where I'm like, I'm done. I'm quitting. I don't want to do this anymore. Fuck this shit. I'm over it. And at the time that I do the stream, I really do mean it. And so it's not like fake. It's not an act, but it's like in that moment, I really do mean it. I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then my audience comes like, Carlin, you can't quit, and we love you, and you can't stop doing it. And they give me all that. They love bomb me, and they trick me, and they force me to stay, even though I don't want to stay. But they force me to because they say all these nice things about me, and I'm like, fuck you, assholes. All I wanted was to quit, and you wouldn't let me quit. And so like, and so maybe Tim is going to have that experience where maybe Tim is going to get all this feedback from people. It's like, Tim, you can't quit for reason X, Y, B, and Z, and yada, yada, yada. And maybe he's going to come back around and say, you know what, that was probably a stupid thing that I just did. Or maybe I don't regret doing it, but like, maybe I'm changing my mind. People are allowed to change their minds. You know, we're human beings. And so, but we'll find out whether this is sincere or not, but I don't think it's an out of the realm thing, because I think like, I don't think like this. I don't think like, what do I need to do to get so many viewers, blah 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 blah. I think about what is the content that you want to create, and then going and creating it. And if people show up, fine, and if they don't, that's fine. And I've managed to carve out a little niche for myself on the internet, and that's cool. But like, I mean, I think that Tim thinks in a way where he really is the type of person that would be strategic like this. Like, I'm going to create some sort of big thing of drama before the election, so we have the biggest election night ever and I make tons of money. And maybe he's trying to create that because he knows he's going to quit after the election anyway. I mean, maybe that's the real plan, honestly. Maybe Tim and Allison were planning on him quitting after the election just because he's over it. And Tim is like, you know what? I'm going to get one final big-ass fucking payday before the election. I'm going to build up all this drama for weeks leading up to the election. It's going to be a massive payday, and then I'm going to quit. That's a possibility as well.
Yeah, it's like your show, your fans and stuff.
Well, and I think, but if you're doing the
happened?
morning thing,
it's just profiles. It should be okay.
Oh, good. I hope it dropped out.
See, the studio
more comfortable.
there we go. See, the studio just broke. Just right.
No, well, that's because we've been here all day resetting the whole thing to run in the old studio. But
hang on. First name, last name says, but from behind the paywall, I can tell you the show is bought ending this week or next week. Wow. That's it. You know what? Maybe I'll be moving to the 8 o'clock hour then. We'll have to see. Hey, Conspiracy Extremist, thank you for the 5 over on Rumble. Fun fact, I am 20 days younger than Tim Pool. I'm married with 4 kids, and I'm better at skateboarding than and MTG than him. I'm also not a sellout like him. Yeah, I mean, we all have to make our choices, and we all have to look ourselves in the mirror at the end of the day, and I don't know, man. I think that Tim could have done so much more than what he's doing. I've always thought this of Tim. I've literally always thought this of Tim. I used to watch Tim back in the day, and we're talking like in 2020. I haven't really watched him much since then, but I've always thought that Tim is smart enough and more than capable of doing way, way more than he's doing, and it's just like he seems to just not want it. So you know what? He's had a lot of success. Nothing wrong with that. But if he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it, you know?
I want to stress this too, because people are like, Tim, don't quit. I'm like, I'm not saying I'm quitting. I'm saying IRL. Yeah. I have a morning show that I can do entirely on my own without any support at all. Yeah. And it is extremely difficult to do all of this at one time.
Question for you then. What do you want to do in real life?
Well, I would do this if it were possible. So I'm going to do the morning show, which I think the strategy is like shave everything down to the core, morning show, produce the content, and then from there regrow.
It would be fun.
Reboot.
Do something fun.
Hey,
Reboot of sorts.
Jeff.
You think?
Yeah, IRL.
Thank you for the 20, Jeff. Good to see you. My wife and I have a bet that you're going to vote for Trump no matter what. No, I'm serious. I can't do it. I really can't do it. I can't do it. Trump is way too cucked to Israel. Like, I can't do it, Jeff. I can't do it. And, like, the thing of it is I really tried. I really tried to get myself to a place where I could vote for Trump. Now, again, if anyone wants to massively bribe me and say, Carlin, I will do what's required to get you 30,000 viewers for Socialism Saturday. I will put out whatever fucking money I need to. If someone actually wants to bribe me with something that I legitimately care about, I am willing to barter a vote for Trump for that. But it's got to be a really big thing. I'm not even joking. Like, I want you to fund my investigative journalism for a year. I want you to, I want something fucking big. And if people want to bribe me to do that, I'm open to that discussion. Elon Musk is bribing people with $1 million to go and vote for Trump. So, I mean, am I really above it? No. My vote can be bought. It can be. I'm not even going to front. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris, but if you want my vote for Trump, and I do live in New Hampshire, so I live in a purple state, what's in it for me? What's in it for me?
Well, times. So we are we range from like we're consistently the top 10 live streams in the world.
Yeah.
Why?
In terms of
Why do you
viewership.
keep doing this?
In terms of
Jesus.
super chats,
Well,
we've
that's a
consistently
horrible freeze
been
frame.
the #1 human being hosted
yeah?
show because the VTubers make way more than us.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're
You want to know how I'm the only person covering this? Because I work just as hard as Tim Pool does. That's the reality. I don't like if there's something going on, I will cover it. I'm creating content all the time. I work 16 hours a day. I work just as hard as Tim Pool does. That's the only reason why I'm covering this right now. The struggle is perpetual between hierarchy and resistance to hierarchy. Carlin must forever explore the far left socialist. You are the best. Hey, thank you, Daniel. I really do appreciate it.
if you're doing a live show, but you have an
Those are like
avatar
the
of a
robot
hot
ladies or something?
anime woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
You will make
Yeah,
more.
that's the deal.
But so
People are
that's
trash.
great. But it's also just I don't know. It's been 4 years, and
I want
we reached the point where I think. So here are the challenges. Clearly, we got to fire people. The problem is everyone's essential to a certain degree, and so that means the show's not going to function if we start to get rid of people. So then it's just like, do we put the show on a hiatus and start reassessing how we need to find and hire people? And then what do? We wait 3 months of going through the hiring process and burning money,
And then people
so
are
we
gonna
can
come
be
back or
like,
not.
who do we find who's going to be able to run this properly? I don't know. Or I just be like, look,
You got to be kidding me, bro. You got to be kidding me. You think that woke doesn't exist anymore? Can my normal viewers please mock this guy in the chat? Can my normal viewers please tell him just how dead woke is and how the right's winning? Pinky swear, trust me, bro. Can you guys tell him what you think of this idea? Because that's the stupidest thing I've heard all month, bro. And I've heard some stupid things this month, man. My audience has descended into retardia many times this month. I've heard some stupid things, but that takes the cake.
I need to make sure that my show runs in the morning so I can live and feed my family and pay my bills. Like waking up and not having a show for my morning show, I'm like, okay, well, who's paying the bills? If it's not going to get done and I don't have the people who's gonna run even that, it's annoying when we try and do Cast Castle, it fails. Cast Castle 2.0 comedy, it fails. Boonies, it fails. And I'm like, but that's ancillary investment and that's my failure. I can't make it work. I get it. But when those projects result in me being unable to do the core show, which pays the bills, then it's just like we're going to stop.
Yeah,
Where's
you
your
got
comedy?
subscriptions. Subscription models are where it's at because then it frees you up to do.
Who makes the product for the subscribers?
That's up to
Bro, thank you for the super chat. PDX Metal. To be honest, I kind of get where he's coming from, but the execution of this is shady AF. I completely agree with you. In my opinion, if he only does the morning show, he loses viewers. I only watch IRL because I can hear more than his voice. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this works out. Like, it's a bold move. Let's see if it pays off. Thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Oh, shit. I almost left my own studio. Hang on. Wrong button. Here we go.
you. Basically, you get to make whatever you want.
Sure. So
Whenever you want.
IRL only exists because we have members. If every single member quit, IRL ceases to exist, period.
Yeah, memberships is legit. Dude, the Discord is so popping. I just did a game jam
is
with a
on
bunch of people from the
drugs. This
Timcast
is
Discord and
crazy.
others.
Yeah, it's probably a good time.
We all these developers over 2 weeks developed video games, and then they did this contest. There were like 16 entries, and then they voted. They got down to 5 finalists, and then they had me come in with another guest judge, and we played the games live. And then they were like, "Dude, we love everything
is
you're
on
doing,"
drugs.
and we not they didn't say we worship Timcast, but they're like, dude, they're people that are like subscribing to the company. The games were awesome, by the way. Biggest Dickus Architectus was my favorite. It was one of the winners. It was a really cool game of like physics and stuff. So that was like an untapped market. I'm like, yo, if we hosted like a video game judgment thing where developers were just constantly creating games, passing them in, and then there was like a $1,500 prize that went to the winner. And
You might get.
Hang on. Your vote doesn't matter in New Hampshire. Well, it might actually make a difference. But hey, you're saying Trump is going to lose the election. I don't trust the system anymore. Listen, man, I don't know if Trump's going to win or lose. I don't know. I honestly don't care. I really don't care. It makes no difference to me at all.
Like 2,000 people watching, maybe 10. I don't know if that's a big market to my
well,
world.
you create the market. This is the
Yeah.
point. It's like you set the
For
trend.
video games, that's not bad.
What's that?
I think for video games, that's not bad.
Are you going off
No, it
topic?
was fantastic.
Yeah.
And like it's like another way to garner fans and give back to the community that's
Yeah,
subscribing, and also to make money and to pay people that are up and coming developers. Like that was just
Yep.
like 2 hours. For me, it was 2 hours.
Thank you, Mass Genocide. Tim is crying about his management of his company like the socialists cry about capitalism. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? Thank you, Mass Genocide.
Hours of work.
Tim, would you do IRL instead of the morning show? Like, do you have a preference of
IRL can't sustain itself.
can't stand stuff, even though
IRL requires the members to exist as a show because we need drivers, we need guest booking,
Okay.
hotel,
Yeah,
travel
a lot of
accommodation.
costs.
okay, I see.
We could
I see,
also
I see.
do no guests. We don't need guests.
Yeah, they're worthless.
I know.
It's
This
like
guy.
it's great having them,
Unbelievable.
He's been saying naughty things.
and
the
we
whole time.
can.
He has
Barely
been.
not.
We can, but that show me and you and Phil
Super
did
hilarious.
was so
Thank
awesome. Like we could just hang out. We don't need to fly people in every day. We could do like guests
Back
once
in
a
the
week
day,
or
the old
twice a
one,
week.
old school.
Back
You
when
do
it was
like once a
him, you
week
and
or
Adam, it
something?
was just as entertaining.
Oh, there it is.
I mean, that's actually what I was saying is one of the core
Uh-oh.
ideas is to just get rid of everything but the skeleton crew.
Yeah, and then just have guests whenever.
We can tell the guests if you want to come on the show, you drive yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
people do it.
no more covering your planes, Dave.
This was the first time you did.
What do you mean?
I always would book myself.
Oh, really?
I never wanted to burden anybody with.
Oh, you're such a nice man.
Yeah,
We
but
even get
they-
some people first class.
They jumped on it, and yeah, can you?
Yeah, let's do skeleton crew.
Well, we'll think about it.
But that's when you started blowing up too, Tim. Like OG fans,
middle seat.
you and Adam, and then young gentleman came around.
We have so many hosts
So
now.
yeah, it was you guys are
That's what I'm saying, we gotta-
40K likes a night. Remember ladies
Yeah,
and
but that
gentlemen,
was-
I'm gonna wear my MAGA beanie if you give me 40K likes tonight.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
But
how- remember those times?
that was also during COVID.
True,
And so
okay.
viewership
Yeah,
and everything
that
for
was
people locked in their
COVID,
homes was
man.
massive.
But also
They
that-
kill you
so
for
great.
wearing
They
that.
called it lightning in a bottle. You and Adam, your old school friendship, like kindling into this business. Really, it was like
There it
just
is
crazy
again.
energy.
You know,
and
look, the show was supposed to be on the street. It was supposed
Yeah.
to be out of a vehicle where I would
Yeah.
interview regular people and just hang out and talk, and do a podcast. I was talking with regular folks.
yeah,
It changed up a lot.
it can. They.
Yeah, it's too burdensome.
We
right?
got so many hosts. We got Phil, Libby, Seamus when he feels like it.
God,
Hannah Claire.
all of their hosts suck. I'm sorry. Conspiracy extremists, thank you for the 5 over on Rumble. I'm biased. I loathe Tim Pool. He says to have kids and send them to private schools. Nigga, I already do that. When is he gonna do that? That's a good question. He does have a nice girl that he's been dating for a while. Why hasn't he married her? Why aren't they having kids? That's a good question, I think. Love Dave Landau felt cringe for Tim this episode. This episode is cringe. It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Raymond,
I'm not a
me,
host.
Serge is hilarious.
hang
I'm
out.
so glad you're talking again.
I like that
Serge.
Ian's naming names.
Dude, I'm dropping.
It's all of them. It's all their fault.
I'm going back to the Ross dress for less, apparently, my friends.
And like, God, we could have other people come in too. There's so many people that
Oh, you're
wanna,
saying positive things.
yeah,
awesome. Oh.
yeah, like
He's not naming
people
names.
that work
Okay.
at Timcast, even like Wesley's hilarious. Carter Banks is awesome. I mean, Charles is hilarious. I would love to sit down with Charles for a couple hours and just shoot the shit, talk about whatever, talk about economics, he's just a funny guy. in general.
Rugby, hockey, but yeah.
Yeah, like he's just good to be in a room with.
I don't know.
So you're in a reassessment time frame then, because we wrote. I'm so happy you wrote May, like I said before. But so it's like
I wasn't gonna do the show at all, but Dave was here, and I
know.
was like,
Yeah, we're-
Well,
it's kind
he
of a dick
appreciates
move
it, and we
to
appreciate
be like,
it
we're not gonna
too.
do anything.
Yeah.
And now everyone, at least, because you've always been open and honest with your audience. So,
What have you been up
it's
to?
good that you're doing this opening, honest with your audience right now.
Did you already talk about what you've been working on lately?
No.
What have you been doing?
Nothing. No,
you know Wald, yeah?
No,
He
yeah.
retired. He works on a
No,
farm.
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
pretty
good.
good. Well, I don't say I work, but I'm definitely doing labor on a farm. What I do is Normal World. Yeah, that's the sketch show, and we're finally putting out more sketches because I know what it's like to have to deal with certain people as well, egos and whatnot. But it's good that we're now building it back up, and I really do like the show. But I really want to do like all sketch. You were fantastic. I was telling the driver today.
You were on a show?
We were on the first
he
episode
was in
together.
the very
it was called
first
Drugtopia. It's
sketch.
on YouTube.
Wait, I've totally seen that. I've seen you guys
Yeah.
for a first couple ones.
good, dude.
He comes off like Robert Downey Jr. It's crazy
Okay.
in less than
Okay.
zero. He's amazing in it.
Acting is like my strength. We
Yeah.
should do more.
I would love you to do more. I would love Tim to do a sketch, but he can't leave.
How has Tim not killed Ian before? I mean, seriously, like, no offense, man. No offense. I get people who have done a lot of psychedelics. I've done my fair share of psychedelics. I couldn't be around Ian for an extended period of time. Can you guys imagine me being around Ian for an extended period of time? I would lose my mind. You think I'm impatient on Socialism Saturday? Like, not a dick move to still do the show. Poor Dave. God bless Dave Lando. Bless him.
Well, maybe now he can.
I know, and
actually-
if you're not around, I would love to have him in a sketch. Like,
he's so funny,
there's
dude.
nothing more I enjoy than doing that. And like, yeah, dude, Drugtopia was fantastic because you just, it was just perfect how well you played that.
would we just fly down to?
And conspiracy extremist over on Rumble throws in $2. He says, if you don't send a Rumble rant, then you are gay. Fake and gay, some might say. Yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to me on Rumble too. I'm rumble.com/Carlin. If you prefer to watch over there, please feel free.
Texas for a couple
Yeah.
days and shoot it. And
Yeah,
then-
absolutely.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's the most fun. Like, honestly, I think when it's coming into like comedy, sketch, movies, all that stuff, I think there's a way to really do this right, and it's not
Hey, Chief
necessarily being.
Trumpster.
We could get rid of guests.
Hey guys, everyone send positive healing vibes to Chief Trumpster. He's having some personal issues, having to take some time off from streaming, but we love him. And Chief Trumpster, I'm so glad that we've been able to connect this year, and that I don't think you're an awful racist anymore. That was my mistake. You didn't do anything wrong. I appreciate you, and we all love you, and we hope you get better soon. And sending you healing energy. And yeah, bro, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Guests
Yeah.
can come on if they choose to come on, but
Yeah.
we're not going to handle booking and anything else.
Well, if you're coming on because you're basically giving them a lot of free promo.
Yes. And sometimes people come on and don't say like 2 words.
Dude, that's the worst.
It's so brutal.
Yeah. So
terrible.
like,
And they get mad at us.
do they? They get mad
Yeah, I'm
afterwards?
like, I don't know if they know what the show was.
Yeah. And
Well,
then-
we'll have like a PR company be like, we want to get this person on your show, and then
Yeah.
think we're going to interview them about their book, and then we don't.
But yeah, IRL is a topical news show, daily news show.
Well, do they think that you read the book? I mean, that's a lot.
No, it's funny though because like,
Nobody
dude, I'm
reads
not.
the book.
I won't lie to people. Like we've had people on the show and they're like, hand me the book, and they're like, will you read it? I go, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm doing 2 shows every day and running a company. There's no way I can read this book.
Look, Michael
Even
Malice.
the Audible
is,
book ain't got
Michael
time for it.
Malice is a good friend of mine, but I don't understand.
I got the audio book and I still haven't listened to
Dude,
it.
I get halfway in and I'm like, yeah, I'll believe you.
The white pill.
It's spot on.
Mike knows what he's talking about.
It's the white pill. Have you?
It's
know,
brilliant. Yeah, up the first few chapters I got,
Well,
and then I don't pretend I'm smarter than I am.
so let me tell you guys something. Maybe,
sir.
we could do the CEO route, right? We could do the strategic investment. You know what that means?
No.
It means
tell us.
that we'll be doing the show, and we're going to let people know about the hardships we face, especially the hardships dealing with a bad night's sleep, which is why I use my pillow.
I hear they're good.
That was fantastic.
My pillow promo code Tim is an actual thing. You can use it.
Really?
So we do pre-rolls. We don't do end rolls or mid rolls. But I guarantee you, anybody who comes in and says I'm going to clean this up is going to be like, we need four ad reads per show.
If they're good things, I don't mind talking about them. I really
No, they're
actually
not
Appreciate
going to
you.
want a
Last
conversation
name.
about it. They're going to say
Epic
break
provisions.
at 9:30. Read the line. Read the minute.
see that.
Carry on.
Can you do like 15 seconds? Like real quick?
You mean
You
like
know,
if you said something like
45
I'll be in
seconds
Toms
maybe.
River, New
Okay.
Jersey on Friday?
Theo Vaughn does really cool ads where he's like, "Yo, homie, you got to get a taste of this shit." Like he says it how he would say
Is it in the middle of the show, or is it like
it like cuts to it in the middle of the show?
Yeah, those are host read placements. So we have some of those sometimes. I'm saying for a live show, host read placements are going to for YouTube, hands down. Like anybody who comes in and says we want to run this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, here's your problem. You're not doing any ad reads."
Like the Ben Shapiro, how he gets it, how he mixes it in the pretty young lady Cooper. Brett Cooper, yeah, she mixes her.
They all do. That's their strategy.
Well.
I would do ad reads.
I kind of like the commercial idea too. I'm just throwing it out there. I always like making commercials.
It just sounds like doing a lot more work. You know?
Oh, like it cuts to a sketch or something.
That's
of a
what we
commercial?
trying to do. Yeah,
Of us like with a real product we could be selling.
Yeah, but it's actually just a sketch.
Like Tim's like, I'm hungry.
Hang on, I got PDX Metal here for the super chat. Maybe Tim is dumping his assets just in case Trump loses. There is a strategy happening here. Just can't put a finger on it. I mean, maybe. I guess we're gonna pay attention. We're gonna find out.
I'm like, have one of these, and I'll hand him like the
whatever bar it is, and you're like, you need a protein bar.
So you're doing a lot of work and you're not getting out of it what you.
But this is like, regardless of the answer, honestly, this is a really dickish thing for Tim to do to his employees. If he hadn't told if this really is a fucking gag, or this is some sort of ploy or something like that, or he's playing some sort of game, and he didn't tell his employees he was doing this before he did this show, that's just a really, really dickish, immature, like inexperienced, ridiculous, dickish thing to do. Like these are people's jobs. These are people's livelihoods. These are people's passions. Like a lot of people have put themselves out there for Tim to move there, to work for him. And it just seems like, honestly, Tim kind of set them up for failure and now is telling them live on the internet they're losing their job. Congratulations. Thanks for nothing. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Goodbye. And I just think it's a dickish thing. There are better, and the point of it is not, again, I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. I don't think Tim has any obligation to continue doing something he doesn't want to do. If he doesn't want to do it, that's fine. But there is a way to do it. There's a way to do it in which you have some modicum of respect for the people around you.
You want. Is this, does that sound
well? I mean, look, the studio broke,
right?
And so there's a lot of other things too, but I'm not going to throw anybody specifically under the bus.
Sure.
I'm not going to bring up other things, but it's just like I said, 90% of the job getting done means 10% across every person that I have to handle, and I can't do it all.
Gotcha.
And so people are mentioning, we got a super chat, startup syndrome. You need a CEO. I'm like, of course, right. And so that's the question. It's like
it's a 4-year startup though.
That's normal. 3 to 5 years to startup.
Yeah, most companies fail in 5 years.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
So now you're bringing a CEO, and well, it's like, why just keep spending money and spinning wheels? Like I could pull it all back and keep making money and not have to stress about any of it.
It's true.
Does
if I were you, I would have just already done just the Timcast thing. But that's
I mean, I'm saying I could buy a Class A.
He says he likes the IRL aspect of it.
Yeah, and
I can get a Class A right now. You know what a Class A trailer camper is? Tour bus.
Okay.
Pop out tour bus, basically. Living room. I can park it anywhere in the country. See, I upgraded from the van, you know what I'm saying?
Stream live from the tour bus?
No, I record my morning segments from the bus wherever I want to go. Yeah. And then that's it. I'm done. I could reasonably record till 4 to get the best segments up. I could do 10 segments per day if I'm working till 4 p.m.
That'd be nuts.
Can you stream on a bus?
Starlink, yeah.
And you could be done the rest of the night. You just do 10.
And then at 4 o'clock, I go to Allison and say, "You want to go get dinner?" And I go hang out with my family.
Okay. It is like an awesome tour bus you could get, or like one for
like
poison.
They're based. AF.
Timcast IRL does very
so you
well.
Could just get one.
$100,000.
Oh wow!
How much? 100?
$100,000.
That's the cost of a Kia now.
Almost $100,000.
Yeah, so there are some used Class A trailers that are like 2022 or whatever that's off. I think for like $100,000.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I could record my morning show anywhere I want.
Dude, mobile's the shit. I just got a bunch of mobile equipment today.
I hate promoting it. Yeah, you could do 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and do what you did before, 6, 7, 6:30. Yep. I don't want to say that out loud because I love
but it's true. I mean, that's
it's 100% true. You can totally get her done.
That's something
and you can be
found
happier that way. So, yeah.
I've been studying.
If you think, I mean, I don't know I don't know your happiness level. We're not
mobile
best friends
tech,
or anything.
are you
so
guys
I don't
following
know.
Thunderbolt technology? It's USB, huge breakthrough advancements. It's USB's eclipsing HDMI. Like it's not even USB. It looks like a USB cord. It's called Thunderbolt, and it's going up to Thunderbolt version 5, where you can get one USB plug can power your device with 100 watts,
Who really
and it can send
cares?
80 gigabits a second, which is like, what would that be? 16 gigabytes per second of transfer data speed. Like, phenomenal. So basically, you're gonna end up having one cord that can power your entire setup.
And it's called
Dang.
Thunderbolt?
Yeah, Thunderbolt technology. My new laptop has Thunderbolt 4, 40 gigabits per second. I'm studying the difference in gigabits
Wait, is
and
it
gigabytes.
yours? Is it like your product?
No, it's just it's a new breakthrough. I think Intel has been working on these advancements. They kind of started using gallium nitride in
I have a hard time
superconductors,
believing
so
that
it's
Ian
a
didn't
lot
do a line of code
cooler
before
and a
this.
lot,
I just-
so they
I
can
have a
make things a
hard
lot
time believing it.
smaller.
Well, Ian's back, everyone.
Yeah, dude, I've been studying electricity for like a week and like power, and I was studying volts this morning. Alessandro Volta, how he built his first battery. You guys ever study that thing?
Nope.
He's called the Volta. I think it was a Volta pile, where he just put zinc and copper on
I'm
top of
not high
itself
enough for
over and
this.
over and over again with like these pieces of cardboard in between them with salt water, and then they just made an electrical charge. And they were like, "What the fuck did we do with this?" So they just started destroying stuff. They were like, "Let's destroy water." So they discovered electrolysis. They were like, "Let's destroy salt." They discovered sodium.
Yeah.
And then they've had OM had to come in and figure out how to resist the electricity to actually utilize it in daily products.
And damn, you research.
Yeah, I've been going nuts. I've been looking
Ian.
at like mobile equipment lately.
Okay.
Because my friend's down in North Carolina, like I was saying, she's doing this cleanup stuff.
Yeah, our friend Dr. Steve is right now because his hospital was flown up to the ceiling.
She's
I mean,
Xena,
to the roof.
Xena Radner, phenomenal humanitarian. She does all sorts of crazy work. And I was like, I got to go down there and interview her. So I've been looking at like difference of wattage and voltage and amperage because I've been trying to get different devices and make sure everything's
Oh,
compatible.
like how you're gonna power it and everything.
Yeah. And there's new breakthroughs in USB, and this Thunderbolt tech is really, really
I could
promising
not
for
care
mobile
less
work.
about this.
Thunderbolt tech is nice. Any
Yeah,
suggestions,
we
you know?
should.
Do men
I
really
think we'll
talk
do a
about
little
this?
members only for all of our
Okay.
members who want to have a
Nice.
more direct conversation with some call-ins and want to ask some questions.
Love that.
You know,
Hanging with the members, dude. That's what really fun too. Because I wanted to have you come in and guest judge the video game competition with me, but I figured you're too busy. But this is like opportunity to do that kind of stuff.
There you go.
I'm glad happy you're doing that.
Like, and if we did it 8 to 10 one night, where it's like, let's use this platform to host these games for these new and up and coming, because some of these guys are like geniuses in 2 weeks what they can spin together.
Do you understand the level of what's going on tonight? By chance?
Man, I'm always on the level, Raymond, but tell me, talk to me about
Just
it.
what-
Yo. Just for that alone, Tim needs to promote Raymond. I'm sorry. Raymond actually just did the only responsible thing in this entire thing, which is to say to Ian, do you know what the fuck is going on right now? Like, Raymond just proved his worth. Tim is not going to appreciate it because Tim doesn't want to fucking hear it. But that, what you just saw just then, that was the adult in the room going, okay, someone needs to step in now. Tim, I'm going to do it. Tim, I'm proving my worth. Tim. He's trying so hard and he will be so unappreciated. Raymond is the hero of the night.
The show's about the title is I May Be the Last Show, and you're talking about Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I always. Yeah, well, I'm talking about mobile tech, but yeah, you could say.
Just curious.
I'm
I'm
not
not trying to be a dick or anything.
I guess I don't want to pile on. I'd
Yeah.
rather like elevate.
Your mood is very fantastic.
you know, like
I do like
there were
it.
a lot of super
I appreciate
chats. I'll read one of them because a lot of them say the same similar thing. What does this says? The ham is bad. You need to hire a COO and an IT professional. People who have no interest in making
Yes.
videos a day want the system to produce the
Yes.
videos work. Like the solution, I don't think the solution is try hiring more people again. Remember how you had a problem, so you hired people, and that didn't work, so you fired them, and then you hired more people, and you fired them, and you hired more
Yeah.
people. Like at a certain point, I'm kind of just like, I don't think that's the issue. I think, I just think
Cutting back on guests, huge
Apathy?
expenditure.
If guests work for you,
I
though.
think it's, I think people,
Yeah.
I think people
No, I
are.
mean, like we have guests. We've just had to, we've gone up and back and forth with that as well.
I think people are entitled, lazy.
Yes. Yep.
You know.
Very true.
Yeah. So, you can only do so much, I guess. I think the other thing too is
It's a book.
the reason why a lot of businesses are as corporate as they are is because there's no world where, like, I believe that the actual mentality of the average employee, I say average employee, I'm not speaking about anyone individual, is I got to get mine and I'll burn this down if I have to.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
I think like, I was talking to a friend and he said that he was at a job once and every time he'd look over, the guy's just scrolling Facebook and Amazon and not working.
I know too many people. I've met too many people like that in my previous jobs.
That's true, but I don't think they have the ability to take over. Like, I don't think they have that go-getting.
I'm saying quiet quitting is hugely popular. It's like a big trend among Gen Z.
Just leaving?
No. Quiet quitting is when you keep pretending that you're working so you get as much money as possible before they fire you.
Oh, the George Costanza method.
Right.
That's
right.
Just come to work.
I think that's
after you quit.
a product of
Gotcha.
salary and hourly wages. Because if you're just getting paid no matter what you do, and you're always going to get paid the same amount,
shut the fuck
why
up,
would you
Ian.
do more?
Oh my
But if
God.
you're making more money based on how well the outcome is,
I
now you're
cannot.
going to work hard.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been a bunch of pitches like we should
Are you
do.
cool with the Collins? Right?
What?
It's the Collins, yes? I'm just
Yeah, in
making
5
sure.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like one method is like the GE method, I think. It's where every quarter you fire the bottom 10%.
Yeah.
That's
do
actually a
that
great,
still?
great idea. I like it.
Yeah, and so it's
That's
basically
why I hate
like
unions.
we're gonna say this job has to get done. If it doesn't get done, we're adding that we're writing it down in a file. At the end of the quarter, whoever has the most misses is you're out.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like,
harsh reality of business.
Yeah, who wants to work there? I guess, but that's the only way to do it. Otherwise,
You shouldn't work.
Don't
You
do
should
it.
be. If you were the person who's not the bottom 10%, then that's a good thing. Like if you're working hard and people see that,
Yep.
then that's.
if you're working hard, other people are doing nothing, and the company's failing because of it. You're gonna be pissed off.
right. But then that's why I like the 10%. Got to go. I like that aspect.
Yep.
That's why I hate unions. They're the worst.
Right, I
things
don't like-
ever.
yeah.
So like you hire a
No,
CEO
one
to
time.
come in and just be like, that person's got to go.
No,
that
no,
person's
no.
gotta
We
go,
say,
that person's gotta go.
so we have tasks that have to be accomplished.
There's so many
If
better
they're not
ways to
accomplished,
do
we write
this.
down you failed
Tim
to
is
accomplish
such an
task.
idiot. There's so
Then
many
at the end of
better
the
ways
quarter,
to
we
do
look at
this.
who has the most failures and say, you're out. We're hiring somebody else.
It's the only thing I've ever had to last.
I don't think people
20 years
realize
of my
what they
life.
have until it's gone either.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that's a huge thing about working at a place like this. There's not a lot of gratitude until you go out there into the real world and realize that, like, comedy feels like more of a safety net to me.
Hey, thanks, PDX Metal. I don't think Ian really understands what's happening here. Raymond for the W. Yeah, Ian has no fucking clue what's going on, and it's maddening to watch this. It's maddening to me. I'm like, the organizational psychologist in me is absolutely screaming at Tim, and part of me wants to like fucking DM Cassandra and be like, here's what Tim needs to fucking do. He needs to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, Cassandra's a smart cookie, so she would know all this anyway. So I'm not gonna do it. Like Tim, it is not as though Tim doesn't have access to this information. It's not as though he doesn't have access. I'm sure Cassandra could fucking help him if he wanted help, but he doesn't want help, not even from someone that he really, really trusts. It's just like, man.
Than it would working for any Fortune 500 company. At least in these days.
Why's that?
So many overseas people that are doing the manufacturing. Like, I just don't feel that people are looked at as much more than numbers. So if you're looked at by the person who owns the company as somebody who actually cares about the employer, but then you don't reciprocate that, that's kind of shitty.
I've been watching a lot of video of like dudes like tapping trees to get rubber out, or factory workers working with vinyl, just poison, chemicals, brutal, boring ass shit. And I'm like, what a opportunity this is to work on TV and like entertain for a living.
That's what I mean. Like, to get 6 figures at like Zug Island in Detroit, where you just work with poisons all day and you're going to be riddled with tumors and die at 40, but you get 6 figures. You know what I mean? Like, people do that. I mean, that's all their options.
There are people who mine cobalt and their teeth fall out of their mouths when they're 20 and they get paid $1 a day.
Or fucking
some are
throw
14 years old,
luggage,
you know,
or
and they make great hookers.
Congo.
corn oil. There's just so many jobs I've had in life that were like, I can't wait for this to be over. And this is a job where I can't wait to wake up in the morning.
Yeah. True. Like, every job I've ever had.
I don't think that's
until
true for this
that-
company.
You don't think so?
I think that there's an element of at this company among our staff who are just like, what do I have to say to make this day end?
I don't think anybody's looking at a clock right now, though.
No,
This isn't a regular day.
I think that this company has too much of. I don't got to do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then when it falls down and I have to catch it, they're just like, I don't care. And you know what? I think it's some people are worse than others, but it's that if someone's only doing 90, I'm trying to catch the other 10.
Yeah. So you're doing 150.
I'm doing way more than that.
Yeah.
No, you're like 330 or whatever. But
And then it's like hey guys, I really need this because I can't do it. And they're like, sure. And then they're just like, what a fucking idiot. You think I'm going to do that? Like, dude, it's remarkable how it's just like, hey, this thing has to get done. Otherwise, we can't do the company. And they're like, you got it, mate. And then they just, as soon as you leave, they, I don't know, crack open a bag of chips and just watch TV or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a crappy feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do, I mean, you take it more personal then.
it's,
'Cause you have to. I mean, it's your baby.
You know, I don't know if I take it personally.
I think
how could you
do.
not? I don't understand.
I don't know how you couldn't.
Yeah.
Because I think people are people. I don't know.
Yeah, without a taskmaster being like,
Well, I think this is the realization is that there
has
has to be a mid-manager whip cracker.
Yes.
Yes, always.
No one,
And it
no,
sucks. But
you
it's
don't
true.
get that. You don't like. Anybody who is passionate and wants to do it, who doesn't need a whip cracker, is not going to work at a company because they can do it on their own.
they can, yeah.
Okay, so then you don't need a CEO. You just need a middle management whip cracker.
Or a
Yeah,
CEO
I
that
don't know that's
also
gonna
is.
I mean,
you
I'm
get a
just,
CEO that's
I'm
the
not
whip
saying you
cracker,
need
like,
anything, Tim. I'm just throwing that out there.
like a CEO could also be the whip cracker.
Sure.
And then they would be middle
We're
management
not
because you'd
that
be
big
the
a
owner.
company.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, someone's got to execute and make
30
sure that shit's getting
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
And is like, look, I'm talking to the head of this department, this department, this department, this department, this department every day. We're having a 20 minutes with you, 20 minutes with you, 20 minutes with you. Who's not getting it done in your
Oh, that's
department?
just so dumb.
Who's not
I
getting-
don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
No,
That's why I'm just
so
like,
you would hire someone to do
No.
all that crap.
No,
That'd
I'm
be the
just
CEO's job.
not interested.
Well, they got to do a man. You got to have
Yeah, no,
meetings.
or I can shut it down and do my morning show, and I don't need any employees.
Yeah.
Well, you could, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you
I
want to
could.
have a company, you got to have someone that's
that's what he's
executing
saying.
management.
Right.
That's what he's saying. He doesn't want to. That's the whole point.
Execute.
Well, you're saying you don't want to do it, not that you don't want the company to exist. You don't want to do that job. I don't blame you. It's exhausting to be in meetings.
No, I don't
all
want
day.
to. I don't want to be in that environment of weird, stodgy HR managers.
Yeah.
The HR company doesn't want to help you have a pro. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I worked at a company.
Oh God, we only have 5 minutes left. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. We're almost there. Angel Eyes, thank you for the super chat. What in the absolute fuck? Just got up to let doggies out, fell asleep with earbuds in to Judge Brown, and woke up to CIA interview, then saw you. Hey, Angel Eyes, I'm glad you ended up in the best place on the internet for 5 more minutes anyway, because we're gonna finish this out. We're almost there. Congratulations to everyone who's made it through the end. As a reminder, I do real content Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We do socials on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you for staying up until 2 a.m. with me. I really do appreciate it.
Is where it's like, I'm having an issue. The only resolution is to ask HR, and HR is like, tell me more so I can fire you and get you.
Right.
The
Yeah,
machine is
HR is-
broken.
Yeah.
HR doesn't exist to help you with your problems. If you work at a company and you're having a problem employee harassing you, and they say, well, based on the current law, we're actually going to get more trouble from the harassing employee than the person being harassed, so we should fire the victim and then protect the harasser.
Yeah,
Man, there are
fact.
companies where, without naming any of them, I've heard stories where like a woman got pregnant and then immediately threatened them that if they ever reprimanded her, she would sue them for sexism and she'd get a high-powered lawyer, and then they just let her do whatever she wanted.
No, that's accurate.
There's
though.
an article I read the other day with someone, he quit his job like 8 months ago, and every day he's just going in there doing the least amount of possible, and he's still working there, and he's still doing his thing. It was a viral thing.
It's called quiet quitting. Okay, we're going to go to the members section so I can answer direct to the members, because the members are the ones who make it all possible. And I'm sure they have questions and we'll answer them. So head over to timcast.com if you want to hang out at the members show. I will put it this way. If we don't do IRL, maybe Ian's got a point about we can just get rid of guests, we can get rid of travel, we can get rid of all the extraneous elements of the show. And it's like, you know, I don't know, like 4 of us just do the show and hang out every day and we don't need a guest. And we can have guests periodically if someone wants to join the show and they can take care of it themselves. Yeah. But otherwise, we just typically don't do guests. We just do news. That's a strong possibility. I think if that's not the case, what I would do for existing members, we obviously want to maintain the Discord for the people who value it as a community. And then I would do a members only, probably like Monday through Friday at like 2 p.m. where I would just do something. That's an idea.
Awesome.
So that way there's still the members going on. There's still members only content and the people still have access to a community, and then we'll keep some staff to maintain it. and we'll figure that out. But what we're going to do now is, that's why, because I don't want to be like, hey, go subscribe to a thing where we don't know what we're going to be doing. But if you want to watch the members only, and we're going to answer questions from the members, timcast.com. You can follow me on X and Instagram. But that's another thing too. I don't even know if I'm going to be using X much longer, because removing the block feature is the most psychotic thing imaginable.
That's nuts. Yeah, I just saw that.
Having all of my stalkers at once on one day instantly just get access to my feed and lose their minds. I don't know if
I don't get it.
Listen, removing the block feature is a great idea, because I'll tell you what, I can access any fucking account that I want to anyway. I have like 8,000 sock accounts. I'm sick of my sock accounts getting compromised. I need to spy on leftists, man. I need to be able to see what's going on. And also, I have psychotic people on the internet that say psychotic things about me. And if they're blocking me and I can't see that, that puts me at a disadvantage, and I don't really like that either. So I understand. I actually like that the block button is going away. I like we're going to be able to see everything. There are already like so many bugs on Twitter anyway that you usually can't even see what's being said, even if you are blocked. And people aren't going to be able to interact, and people aren't going to be able to do, like, nothing is being lost in this. So again, Tim is whining and complaining over nothing. How much fucking money does Tim make on X every single month? Like, it's got to be an astronomical amount. And he is completely and totally ungrateful.
They're basically nullifying the mute. You have the mute button where you don't have to listen to the person anymore. Now they're turning the block button back into the mute button.
Well, we're going to go to the members only then and talk to members. So, Dave, do you want to shout anything out?
This Friday I'll be in Tom's River, New Jersey. It's all Toys for Tots goes to charity. You can go to my website, davelando.com. Food, all that stuff goes to families that need it. That's this Friday. Saturday, Sunday I'll be at Helium in Buffalo. But check out my show, Normal World. We got sketches. Ian's, of course, been on it. I hope Tim will do a sketch. I think
maybe.
Nice.
That'd be fun.
And check it out. It's on YouTube. You can just look up Normal World.
You guys know me. I'm Raymond G. Stanley Jr. I'm privileged and honored to be here tonight, and every night I'm on IRL hanging out here. Ian?
Ian Crossland, and like I mentioned earlier, we did the Game Jam cast. Check out the Game Jam stuff. It's great. A bunch of software developers came together and made a bunch of video games that we judged in real time. Also, what else? I'm going to be going down to North Carolina, working on cleanup a little bit. Like I said, I'll just follow my social medias at Ian Crossland and keep in touch with everything there. I go live periodically and play video games and play music and all sorts of stuff. So I'll see you. I also shot a movie out in LA that'll be coming out soon, but I'll tell you more about it as it releases. Serge, talk me out, baby.
What's up, guys? It's been fun. Hope that keeps going, but it's not my call to make. Stay frosty, I guess. Yeah.
Cool. And also, I like your show. I like coming on it. It's fun. So thank you.
Well, thanks for
whatever you choose. I'll just kiss your ass a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I think the morning show will exist in some fashion if IRL does not. And then I can do one bigger show instead of two, bulky shows, or one light. Like the morning show has been light. Like I've only been doing four shows a week. And then IRL, of course, 5. And now I'm just like, maybe I just do 5 morning shows and weekend bonus shows. And then there's 7 shows a week once again. And more clips on YouTube and all that stuff. So we're going to do the members show. Thanks for hanging out.
That's it.
I guess, I expect to be here in the morning doing the morning show as per usual. So youtube.com/TimcastNews. Other than that, we'll be at timcast.com in a minute. Thanks for hanging out.
It's over. It's so over. It's over. All right. Final verdict. 1 in the chat if you think that Timcast IRL is done for good, maybe in a week or so. 2 in the chat if you think that Tim is just having a bad day and he's going to bring it back and you're not worried. So 1 in the chat if you think that it's going away. 2 in the chat if you think that Tim is just being a drama queen. Yeah, there's a lot of 2s in the chat right now. A lot of 2s in the chat. Okay, I can see a 1. Couple 1s. Couple 1s, mostly 2s. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really have been where Tim is before, where I do these streams. You can find them on my channel. I never delete anything, so you can find it on the channel, where I do these streams where I'm like, everything sucks and I'm quitting and fuck you guys and I don't want to do this anymore and this is too hard, and I cry a lot of times, and I really do mean it at the time. Like at the time I'm like, at my wit's end, I'm done, I don't want to do it anymore. And so I do understand being in that place, and it does actually help to like vent on the internet and stuff like that, which people are like, oh, it's drama, but like, you know what, we're people too, we're human beings, okay, allow us to be human beings. And so So I do understand that, and I understand getting up the next day and having a million messages and being like, Carlin, please don't do it. You can't quit and all this stuff. And then I'm like, okay, well, fine, assholes, I won't quit. And so like, I do get it. I don't know if I think Tim is for real or not. I think he probably does feel this way right now, but I also think he might step back. And maybe if someone is a friend to him and talks to him offline and being like, bro, do you really want to do this? Like, what are you doing? Like, aren't there a million other ways to handle this situation that don't involve just pulling the plug on everything? And maybe some talk to some other people and maybe explore some ideas that you haven't thought about before, and maybe give up a little bit of control and let someone else do something for you for once. Like, if someone takes him aside and maybe has a heart to heart with him, maybe he zooms out. He's like, yeah, I'm being a moron. Because again, it's like, I just find my biggest takeaway from all of this is Tim is incredibly ungrateful for what he has. And he's incredibly ungrateful for the people that make it possible for him to do what he does. And he's incredibly ungrateful for the people who've worked for him. And that to me leaves just like a really, like, I feel bitter about that because, listen, I became an organizational psychologist for a reason. I actually do care about like people. Like that is something that I actually legitimately do care about. And it's just like, there's so many people in the world who have much harder jobs than Tim, who are making it work and who are getting up every day and appreciating what they have. And, you know, the fact that he just doesn't get this thing that he has, I'm like, that's the biggest tragedy of all of this. You're just ungrateful for having 30,000 viewers because you want to have 60,000 viewers and all this stuff. Like, who really cares, man? And that's sad. It's sad that Tim lives a life where he's ungrateful for what he has. That's sad. Maybe he's just burned out. Maybe he just needs a break. Maybe he really does need to burn some stuff down and start from scratch again. I really do think that Tim makes horrible hiring decisions. I think he surrounds himself with a lot of really bad people. Maybe, you know what? Maybe taking a break would be a really good thing for Tim, to be honest. Maybe Tim really does need to take a break where he's like, I'm not doing shit for the entire rest of the year. I'm going to do my morning show. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. And then maybe he does that for like a couple of months and he just takes a break. And maybe then he would be able to burn things to the ground. And sometimes when you burn things to the ground, you can start fresh again with a new set of eyes and say, you know what? Maybe all those people that I hired, maybe that was a bad decision. And maybe I should do things differently this time. Because it's not like he couldn't do it. Of course he could do it. People would probably love him even more for it. So why doesn't he? I mean, I don't know. So I guess we'll see how this is going to play out. But I am taking my leave. It is 2 a.m. and I'm going to bed. I was supposed to be writing tonight. I was supposed to be working on my book tonight, but no. Got to do breaking news, got to be responsible, all that stuff. But I appreciate everyone that hung out with me tonight, and I hope you all have a good rest of your night. And I will be back at 5 p.m. tomorrow where we will talk about something far, 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 far more important than Tim. All right, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you soon.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you here?
That's difficult to answer.
that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.